This is the Buzz Adams Morning Show podcast. Barstool Talk Daily. Except it's really early in the morning and no booze. For the most part.
Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station.
Today is Thursday.
What are Thursdays?
Feeling frisky, especially on Thursdays.
Thursdays are for me.
Beautiful. Now, can we all please get back to work?
I can't work Thursdays.
When do you work?
Well, I'm something of a famous radio personality.
I'm a radio host.
I work at radio.
That's not a real job.
That's not a real job.
Radio people are the coolest.
We're mass communicating. All right, let's do this.
Now we begin.
All right, kids. It's showtime.
From the KLAQ studios in beautiful sunny El Paso, Texas. It's time for the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
You rock me like a hurricane.
I know I do.
On 95.5 KLAQ.
Okay, thank you so much. That is a very kind welcome. Thank you. And welcome to the show, everybody, for this Thursday morning, May the 16th. Thanks for joining us. We've got a lot coming up. We've got music tonight at McKelligon Canyon Amphitheater. So let me talk a little bit about Cool Canyon Nights. It's back. It started up last week. And we had a great night. I didn't make it out last Thursday, but I hear we had a great night out there. And it's Dusty Lowe performing on the main stage in the amphitheater. So come out and see them. They're really, really talented. They've been playing all their lives together. I know there's 3 or 4 brothers in the band. So that's Dusty Lowe on the main stage, Josh Marin on the patio stage. The music on the patio gets started at 6 o'clock, and then around 7, that's when the action goes into the amphitheater and the main stage there. This is a free event, so every Thursday at McKelligon Canyon Amphitheater, we invite you out for a free concert. Parking is also free. Mm-hmm. It's the Cool Canyon Nights presented by Westar.
Oh, and they have like a shuttle that'll take you from your parking spot to the top.
Special thanks to Charlie Clark Nissan. Also, some other sponsors, Johnson's Jewelers, L&F Distributing, and White Claw Hard Cider. The after party is at Twin Peaks. And Westar for presenting the whole thing every Thursday. We are going to have a great act. I want to look ahead a couple of weeks here. So Dusty Lowe tonight, that's great. Prime Rocks is going to be fantastic.
Sweet. Yeah.
May 30th, you cannot miss the Rocket Man Experience, the Elton John tribute done by this guy from the UK who is amazing.
He's great, yeah.
Have you seen him?
Yes.
Did you see him last year at CCN?
I did. I introduced him last week.
Oh, and he's really that good.
You weren't here, Buzz, but we had him in studio with us.
I think I was out of town that week.
Yeah, he did such a great performance.
What, did he play a little Rocket Man? Or
no.
Daniel? Your song?
Your song. It nearly brought me to tears.
Cool Canyon Nights, presented by Westar. A free concert every Thursday, and tonight it's Dusty Lowe on the main amphitheater stage. So we're looking forward to that. And I believe the weather will cooperate. Let's do a quick check of El Paso weather, the golfers forecast as we get closer and closer to the weekend, and find out how the weather's shaping up. It's going to be warm. It's going to be in the 90s, and we might even start flirting with 100.
Oh, it's time.
Not today, though. It's going to cool off just a little bit. Partly cloudy. 83 is going to be the high temperature today. In the afternoon, winds are going to be between 15 and 20 miles an hour, so the winds are going to pick up. We've got just the very slightest chance of rain, about a 10% chance that some of El Paso might see some rain around midday today or early afternoon. Other than that, partly cloudy. As I mentioned, things cooled off a little bit. 83 for today's high temperature, but we're back up to 90 on Friday and mostly sunny. Winds 5 to 10, so that's a perfect golf day, by the way, for Friday. Sunny, 96 on Saturday. Winds are not going to be an issue, so that's also an A+. And Sunday, winds are going to pick up. We're going to have some afternoon winds, 15 to 20 miles an hour on Sunday. And this, we're going to be getting, like I say, very close, teasing 100 degrees. 97 is the predicted high temperature on Sunday. El Paso weather is brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. You can set up all your tee times and reservations online at painteddunes.com. That's painteddunes.com. Or you can call their pro shop, which is 915-821-2122. That's 821-2122 for Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. Good morning, Joanna Barba.
Hey, good morning.
You excited about the weekend?
Oh, yeah, always.
Right, as we start getting close. It's not Friday, but it's the day before Friday.
Almost there.
Almost there. What do you have coming up in the Hollywood Cheesemade today?
It's our favorite time of year. The Cannes Film Festival is underway, and that means it's time to find out who can applaud the longest.
Right, because it's not just enough to give a movie a standing ovation. It has to now be a 30-minute standing ovation.
We got our first report of a long standing ovation for Furiosa.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I'm going to have you and Nico guess how long it went for.
Okay, sure.
When we get to entertainment news.
They've got a robot that kind of looks like the robot from iRobot, the Will Smith movie.
It does.
You can have this for the asking price of $16,000.
Hot damn.
It is the G1 humanoid agent, a bipedal robot. That means it walks like a person, that specializes in things like bow staff combat, crushing nuts with its bare claws.
Claws? It's got claws?
It has hands. I don't know why they call it claws. Check out this weird looking robot that you can buy for $16,000. See, he's on his back and he gets up in a really creepy way. It's kind of Megan-esque.
It's in the Matrix.
Again, it kind of looks like the robots from iRobot.
It does, yeah.
I can wave to you.
Does it talk to you?
Oh, I'm seeing now. There's a guy coming up, and he's got boxing. I guess you can spar with it, but it's the size of a child.
Can spar with
it's the size of a 7-year-old.
It is.
It's a little miniature man. You can kick it, and it won't fall.
Kicking it, and he looks like he's having a hard time kicking it.
He can't knock it over. Let's see. He's going to punch it. Punched it. God, so you could...
Oh, wow. Did you hear that thunk?
Oh, yeah. When is this robot going to get his turn? Punch back, and his hand's just going to go right through the guy's chest cavity. Now, what can it do for me? If I were to say, robot...
It'll spar with you.
Go get all the groceries out of the car, bring them in, and put them away. That's when I'll think about spending money on a robot, when it can actually do
fold the laundry.
Yeah. When they come out with one of those Jetson Rosie the Robot maids, I'll think about getting into the robot game. Oh, boy. We're going to have news headlines. Biden and Trump have agreed to debates, at least two of them that they both agreed to. And the first one that they agreed to is going to be the earliest debate in U.S. history. June 27th will be the earliest that any presidential candidates have ever debated before an election. And they agreed to another one. And then it sounds like Trump wants to have a third debate on Fox News. And I don't know if Biden's going to go for that or not. We got a lot coming up on the show today. Definitely a lot to talk about. We'll have Today in Sound clips coming up here in just a few minutes. Your phone calls, let me give out the numbers real quick. You can call us live in the studio. We always welcome your live calls. 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. Or you can call the Neckline. You can do that anytime you like, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Leave a message on the Neckline that we could play back on the air. Neckline number is 844-805-NECK. That's 844-805-6325. And I'm gonna finally address this on the air. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I think I've made up my mind.
Okay.
I'm going back to my pre-COVID tipping policies.
Okay.
So that means if I get a carry-out order and I just go in and you hand me the bag and I pay for it, I'm not including a gratuity for you handing me the bag.
Okay.
I was doing it through the pandemic.
Yeah, I do that. And I think it did start during the pandemic. Yeah.
I can't understand why you would be expected to tip the person who hands you the bag. You drove there, got the thing, here's your bag, but what? I'm going back to, here's my policy, I think. Whatever people got tipped for 20 years ago, I will continue to tip.
Okay.
So a haircut,
a waiter
and waitress, yes.
What else?
I'm not going to tip you
Definitely
at
not
a
the-
drive-through window.
Yeah, definitely not the dude that just weighs my frozen yogurt cup and then turns that little iPad around on me.
That's the way they get you, is because you have to actively not tip them. It's like, wait a minute, you just weighed my
cup.
frozen yogurt.
And I feel like you're adding more weight
And
than
you
it has.
want at least 18% for that? That's the bottom
That's the
one.
first option you get. It doesn't even give me like 10%, 15. No, it starts immediately 18%, 20%, 25.
I mean, for something like that, I'll throw you $1 if I have one.
If you're like telling me the specials of the frozen yogurt, or hey, you should pair your frozen yogurt with Rice Krispies instead.
Mm-hmm. Please don't do that, though. That just sounds like a nightmare, doesn't it?
It sounds like you're passionate about your job, and maybe I'll tip you $1.
You know where they really get you, or so I've heard, because I wouldn't have any knowledge of this, but I am told that in dispensaries, you order, they put together your order, and these are, what do they call them? They don't call them baristas.
Oh, the bud tenders.
The bud tenders, that's what it is.
Your bud tender.
Yeah. And they might answer a few questions for you, or so I've heard.
Of course.
But when they turn that around, it's got the same thing, like an 18% tip. Well, but you're buying, depending on how much you're buying, that might be a $20 tip.
Yeah,
that could be a $20 tip. And all you did really was ring me out and maybe recommend a good sativa.
Sometimes I hear they don't really recommend anything because they're all a little like
stoned,
elevated. And they're just like, well, this is what we have. That's what I hear sometimes.
No, I think what I hear is that the bud tenders are usually really enthusiastic about their work and love answering questions.
Okay,
of course, this is all coming to me secondhand. I've never been in one.
Sometimes a friend of mine says, they're not that great. I love them. I hear.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I hear is they're really friendly and really professional.
And then they turn that little iPad around.
And then and you want me to tip you $20. Nope, I'm going back to pre-pandemic tipping. The free ride is over, folks. We'll get to Today in Sound Clips coming up here in just a few minutes. If Nico joins us, I don't know when it will be, but until then, it's just the two of us.
Right.
I don't have the thing ready to go.
We can make it if we try.
Just the two of us.
You and I.
You and I.
The Daily Calendar.
Today, May 16.
Today is best bottomless because it's National Mimosa Day. It's also National Barbecue Day, and yours could probably use a spring cleaning, probably. It's Piercing Day and Wear Purple for Peace Day, and here's a tip. It's Waiters Day.
Tip 'em.
What? Nothing.
Tip 'em.
Happy birthday, Megan Fox.
You never call.
Chris Novoselic of Nirvana and 007's Pierce Brosnan.
And that's your Daily Calendar.
I feel like the calendar was sassing back at me.
Yeah. Did you hear that? Tip
I
them.
sure did. I will tip waiters.
Yes.
Until they start paying them a living wage.
Exactly.
I will continue to tip the wait staff.
Hey, it's Daniel Paulus. I'll be along starting at 3 with everything from AC/DC to Alice in Chains to
Every room tells us spacious layouts, kid-friendly designs, and pet-approved spaces because family is the heart of Saratoga Homes.
Broadcasting from El Paso for El Paso. The Buzz Adams Morning Show on 95.5 KLAQ.
going to get into today's sound clips. We're going to hear from actress Angie Harmon, who is suing Instacart because one of their drivers shot her dog.
Oh, my God.
I know the cops can do that and get away with it, but can an Instacart driver get away with shooting somebody's dog?
Was it attacking?
I don't know. I haven't listened to all the audio yet, but she's quite shaken up about it. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., we've got our latest dining deal with a great restaurant that we went to this week and enjoyed the fantastic food they have at Mora Mia. Mora Mia at 11250 Montwood Drive is going to be our dining deal. Now, how this works, KLAQ and SeizeTheDeal.com present a new dining deal every Friday. Starting at 10 o'clock, you can get a $50 food certificate. You pay only $25 for it. But they are limited. We only have 100 of these, and once they're all sold, they're gone. And you can get 2 per person. So you get 2 $50 food certificates for just $25 a piece. That's for Mora Mia Barrio Kitchen and Drinks, where tradition and new trends collide. Take advantage of this dining deal when it goes live tomorrow at 10 a.m. You do that by going to KLAQ.com and clicking the dining deals on the must-read bar, or the dining deals button on the KLAQ mobile app. That will get you there as well. For Mora Mia, 11250 Montwood Drive. There's a lot of stuff happening in the news. We've got today in sound clips, so why don't we go ahead and get into that now.
And now, today in sound clips.
I don't have any sound clip with this one, but the Prime Minister of Slovakia was shot multiple times at close range, and he is still alive, the latest that we're reading. Following the assassination attempt, Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico is in a hospital. He underwent 3 hours of surgery after being shot in the abdomen 5 times by a still unidentified attacker.
Oh, my God.
Few details were released about the shooter, who was immediately swarmed by police. So they got him. They're just not saying who he is or whatever. But I think Fico, the Prime Minister of Slovakia, is kind of an outlier in Europe in that he is very much pro-Putin. Okay. And very anti-LGBTQ, and but they're not saying much about the suspect who shot the Slovakian Prime Minister. A pro-Palestinian protest on the campus of UCal Irvine hit a boiling point yesterday. The group of several hundred protesters, pro-Palestinian, surrounded a lecture hall and entered the building, prompting school officials to call the police. The authorities tore down barricades, began dismantling the encampment in a campus parking lot, and escorted an unknown number of protesters away in zip-tie hand restraints. The pro-Palestinian protesters have been on campus at UC Irvine since April 29th. Here's some of the protesters as they were being taken away in restraints by police at UC Irvine yesterday. And here's a little bit of what some of the students had to say.
When free speech is under attack, it's the God-given constitutional duty of every American to stand up and say, no, that's why we have a Constitution, that's why we have a Bill of Rights.
All right. The Supreme Court orders a new congressional map to go into effect in Louisiana. Elections in Louisiana will look different this November after the Supreme Court said that it will allow the state to use a congressional map that includes a second black majority district. The court granted requests from a group of African-American voters and civil rights group and also the state of Louisiana to put on hold a federal district court panel that blocked the state from using the redrawn map. Can you explain the idea of gerrymandering, which is kind of this? You depending on how you chop up the districts, you could give an advantage to possibly one party over another or one candidate over another.
Right. A good example is El Paso's district itself. It was rewritten maybe 2 years ago, and our representative is actually somebody not even from El Paso.
Well, most of the district that is represented by Tony Gonzalez, I think you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Most of it is San Antonio, and then there's this tiny little strip that runs like 500 miles to include parts of East El Paso.
But they did that because they wanted a Republican to be able to be competitive in this district, as opposed to before we had.
Well, we have two representatives. Yeah. Most of El Paso is covered by Veronica Escobar, but yeah, that's a pretty good example off the top of your head. Michael McClanahan, the president of the Louisiana NAACP, told CBS News yesterday that more representation for Louisiana's black population in Congress is needed because he says everyone has the same goals for the state.
We all want good roads, good health care, good education.
Angie Harmon breaks down recalling the moment an Instacart driver shot her dog on Good Morning America. In this exclusive interview with ABC, Angie Harmon broke down in tears recalling the moment her teen daughters saw an Instacart driver shoot their family dog.
I heard Emery screaming.
Wait a minute, Christy Noam is already driving for Instacart? I guess she does know her career's over.
I heard Emery screaming. I just heard her say, "Did you just shoot my dog?" And I was like, "What?"
Doesn't compute.
And she just started screaming. I've played law enforcement for 30 years.
It's different.
It's just so different.
Angie Harmon went on to share her anger and frustration over it says here, Instacart shopper. Is that what Instacart is?
It's like
what's
a
shopper?
They shop in the store for you.
They go to the store and bring you your stuff.
Yes.
Like Pink Dot. But you guys, I bet it was a thing they had in L.A. back in the 80s. Pink Dot, you just call somebody and they'll go pick up all the groceries you want.
I'm glad that you looked at us and then recognized
you don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Angie Harmon shared her anger and frustration over the Instacart shopper who allegedly shot her dog and said that the shopper was not what the profile had described them to be.
I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, this man was claiming to be, like, it looked like we were talking to like a middle-aged, slightly older woman named Merle, who was talking to me about my order. And that's not who showed up at my house.
Oh, that's weird.
Angie Harmon explained why she is filing suit against Instacart and the employee who allegedly shot her dog.
First of all, I think Instacart is beyond responsible for all of this. Like, this didn't have to happen. And, the damages that it has done to our family.
As far as was the dog attacking,
right?
I don't know. I mean, but even still, police will shoot your dog, by the way. I've seen videos of it. Police will shoot your dog.
I've seen it.
I don't know how an Instacart driver thinks they have the authority to shoot your dog.
I thought anybody who felt like your life is in danger can use self-defense as a means.
Stay in your car. It's just your Instacart order.
Oh, yeah.
Angie Harmon talks about what she wants the public to take away from her tragic experience.
As hard as it is, and getting the word out there that people need to know that, who they're talking to on Instacart is not necessarily who's going to show up at your house.
Yeah, I think I'm a little confused about the story. So are they saying the person who showed up, well, they must have worked for Instacart, right?
Yeah, probably. If she thought that was her Instacart shopper.
Why would somebody, what's the reason somebody would use Instacart? I can understand if you're like bedridden or housebound or something.
Yeah, basically, except for lazy people like that.
You think it's just lazy?
No, it's not just lazy. But I mean, it is that. It's like people who don't want to shop and get other people can go shop.
That's one chore I do like doing.
Grocery shopping?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff that It's a non-starter. I'm never going to iron clothes. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just never going to happen. But I don't mind going to the grocery
Get that
store.
robot to do it.
I got to show Nico that crazy-looking little robot. Nikki Glazer is talking about the fallout from the Tom Brady roast. I think more than anybody else, Nikki Glazer really... she's a well-known comic to begin with, but I think like her star really rose as a result of the Tom Brady roast. Yesterday on the Today Show, comedian Nikki Glazer talked about her thoughts on Tom Brady's recent comments saying that he now regrets the comedy roast and how it affected his family.
It's impossible to me that he didn't consider what could have happened because there's roast footage out there that you can watch and they're going to go this hard. But then there's a part of me that thinks that Tom Brady, especially given his career and how much people love him, no one's ever said a bad thing to him in the past 30 years. So he doesn't know anyone's capable of going there.
Right. How would you not know what was coming up on a roast? Wouldn't you just out of curiosity look at a roast? Just look one up on YouTube and see what it was like when they roasted. Who did they roast?
Charlie Sheen, Justin Bieber. Donald Trump.
Yes, they did one for Trump before he ran for president.
But famously, Donald Trump was able to control some of the content. He said, look, you can't make any joke that makes me sound poor.
I forgot who it was. It was a well-known comedian. Maybe it was Jeff Ross, who said Trump had one. It wasn't Jeff Ross, but I don't remember who it was. Said Trump had one rule for his roast. You could talk about his divorces. You could even talk about his hair. His one rule when they roasted Donald Trump was don't make any jokes that suggest that I'm not as rich as I say that I am.
Yeah.
And I guess that was like the one ironclad rule. Nikki Glazer revealed how she gets recognized on the street since she has become so famous following the roast of Tom Brady.
I hate to brag, but that's I never thought that would happen to me, of being that recognizable or going to dinner and, the chefs sending out extra food because I now have to dress nicer when I go out because I didn't know that, I've never been recognizable.
Yeah, I think that this really has been a boost for Nikki Glazer's career in the 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks since she did the Tom Brady roast. TikToker named Cameron Jane posted a video about her mom's lovely Tuscan chicken dinner smothered in olive oil.
That sounds delicious.
It was inedible. And there's one major reason that no one could eat Mom's Tuscan chicken, and it was the olive oil.
I feel so bad. Look at what my poor mother did. She just cooked this beautiful meal, this Tuscan chicken and this amazing sauce with a new olive oil that she ordered from online. Pure Greek olive oil. And only after she'd finished did we discover that it's shower gel. The chicken tastes like straight up soap. How do you feel right now?
I want to physically hurt someone and hit something really hard.
She ordered olive oil shower gel from the internet. And
that would make me very upset.
The whole chicken?
I guess she just kind of basted the whole damn thing with the shower gel.
At least the chicken's clean.
I got another Instacart story.
Another one?
Yeah, this one isn't as tragic as Angie Harmon's dog getting shot, but an Instacart driver in Georgia claimed that the food order she picked up was supposed to be delivered to a prison for a death row inmate's last meal. At least that's what Instacart driver and TikToker Krishayla Farley said. That she was going to pick up the food and it was going to be for a guy on death row. Well, she got to the prison and they wouldn't let her bring the prisoner food. I don't think he was slated for execution. So I think she misunderstood or was told wrong. I don't think it was supposed to be his last meal.
This man from prison done ordered him a whole platter of wings, and them folks told me to turn it right back around because he cannot have this. Look at this. I just left the prison. They told me to turn it back around and donate it to somebody else. I ain't gonna lie, that man had me feeling some type of way because I'm thinking I'm finna this last meal before they execute him. When he done sat there and ordered a meal on Instacart, God may not come when you want it, but he right on time. Cause get what me and my kids eating for dinner tonight. Some wings and some potato wedges.
Some wings and some potato wedges. That sounds good.
That does sound good.
A man in Canada claims that he was swiping the McDonald's app while waiting in line at the McDonald's drive-thru when a police officer ticketed him for using his phone in the car. Mason Prima said that he was not moving. He was in line at McDonald's using the app. He had to pay a $580 fine. Here he is talking about getting the ticket.
Barely even moving. I'm just rolling. And I go like this to open up my McDonald's app. And I look in my rearview mirror. And there's a motorcycle cop behind me. Show him, I'm like, I'm on my McDonald's app. I'm loading up the code right now to get a free meal. I did think he was just going to let me go because I'm just trying to get a free meal. Turns out to be a very expensive lunch.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
What a douche.
I wonder if it was a Mountie.
Instead of a motorcycle cop, if you saw a horse cop behind him.
That'd be great.
Also, what was the cop doing in line? Getting McDonald's?
That's a good question.
That sounds like kind of a BS ticket, doesn't it? If you're in the drive-through line swiping the app for the restaurant that you're at.
Yeah, especially when you get to the to order, they tell you need to give a code. So yeah, you have to have your phone ready.
Right, you can't do it without your phone?
I mean, you can remember the code. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, they give you free stuff, Joanna?
Yes, when you have the app, they have like deals and stuff, and if you rack up enough points, you get free stuff.
Well, this guy ended up racking up a $580 ticket for using his phone. A 90-pound piece of space junk landed in a Canadian farmer's field.
Wait,
Experts.
What?
Another Canada story?
Yeah, another one?
What's going on in Canada?
What's
this all about?
A 90-pound piece of space junk ended up in a farmer's field. Experts think it's from a SpaceX launch in February.
Oh, wow.
Now, the farmer is planning to sell it and wants to use the money to help rebuild his local hockey rink. This is the most Canadian story ever. Here's Barry Sawchuk, the farmer, talking about discovering the debris in his field.
Not a space junkie or anything like that. This is just what we found in our field. So my oldest son and I were out driving around just checking fields, see where we could start seeding, and we came across the largest object laying out in the field. Whether this is insulation, I have no idea. Don't build spaceships for a living. I farm.
But he's going to use whatever money he raises for his local hockey rink.
Aw.
Pitter patter, let's get at her. Do you guys ever watch a show called Letterkenny that's set in like rural Canada? Have you ever watched a single episode?
No.
We've watched it together.
Did you like it? Or did it get annoying after a while?
So this is the thing about Letterkenny. I know it came from the internet as a YouTube series originally.
Okay.
And you can tell that the jokes they write are not meant to be longer than 5 minutes. That all their jokes really do really well in 5 minutes, but then they just seem to repeat those exact jokes kind of throughout the show. Anyways, yeah, I like Letterkenny. It's funny.
Okay. In the NBA, the Dallas Mavericks defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder 104-92.
Major bounce back by the Dallas Mavericks. They defeat the Thunder in OKC to take a 3-2 lead in the series. 104-92, the final.
Okay, so you understand how this works. These games now in the playoffs and the championship.
I do not.
Okay, are going to be best of 7. That means the first team to win 4 games.
Okay.
And now the Mavericks are up 3-2. If they win the next game, they advance to the next round. The Boston Celtics did advance to the next round by defeating the Cleveland Cavaliers. This one was not very close at the end, 113-86. And that means the Boston Celtics will be going to the Eastern NBA Conference Finals for the 6th time in just the past decade.
Listen, they got to be pleased with their progress. I think J.B. Bickerstaff has got to be happy to see some of the growth from those young guys. But the Celtics, mission accomplished for the second round.
The Boston Celtics have punched their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals for the 6th time in 8 years.
Early yesterday morning, President Joe Biden posted a video to X challenging former President Trump to 2 debates and took the opportunity to make digs at Trump's ongoing criminal hush money trial in New York City. Here's some of the audio from President Biden's video challenging Trump.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Okay. Trump has been needling Biden about debates. Trump really treats it the way boxers do. Like they call out their opponent. He's dodging me. He doesn't want to go up against me. Maybe it's more like wrestling. But Trump has been on Biden's case about debates even as recently as last month.
You can see we have an empty podium right here to my right. You know what that is? That's for Joe Biden. I'm trying to get him to debate.
I'm trying to get him to debate.
So they've agreed on 2 debates. The first one's going to be June 27th, and I'm told, or I heard reported, that that's the earliest for a presidential debate in an election year ever. By the way, Senator Mitt Romney has been one of these never Trump guys, you know? It's not clear that Mitt Romney, who ran for president against Barack Obama in 2012, voted for Trump in either 2016 or 2020. I think everybody assumes he did not vote for Trump, and he's been a major critic from within the GOP. But Mitt Romney says that if he had been president, he would have pardoned Trump. So let's hear a little bit of that from Romney.
I would have immediately pardoned him. I'd have pardoned President Trump. Why? Well, because it makes me, President Biden, the big guy, and the person I pardoned, the little guy.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. I know there's a lot of people like you and even me who would say, no, Trump needs to face the music for whatever he does, but it would cut out a lot of Trump's arguments against Biden right now.
Biden's after me.
Right. It would,
his Justice Department, it's a witch hunt.
It would undercut all of that stuff.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're the same thing with Nixon. There was there were no repercussions for Nixon
and
himself.
People felt like they were cheated. They felt like there should have been.
Plenty of people went to jail from Watergate and from his own White House. There were people within the White House in close orbit to Nixon who went to prison, but Nixon himself didn't because he got pardoned by Gerald Ford. Well, there's still some people out there saying that Biden is not going to be the candidate for the Democrats, and there are even some people saying they don't believe Trump is going to be the candidate for the Republicans when we get to November, but they've already got the first debate set. June 27th is going to be that first presidential debate.
Coming soon, the debate you've been waiting for. On one side, former President Donald Trump.
No topic is off limits, except for my Stormy Daniels trial.
On the other side, President Biden.
That's right. Nothing's off limits, except for the economy and inflation, man. I don't want to talk about it.
2 candidates going head to head.
I'll answer any question, except for any question about my fraud trial. Bigly off limits.
I'll talk about anything, except Hunter. He's a good boy. He's done nothing wrong. He doesn't have a laptop or anything.
The debate between Trump and Biden.
I don't want to talk about anything that has to do with me.
And I don't want to talk about my age and oh, hell, you know the thing.
Don't miss it.
Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show, Glenn Garza and Daniel Paulus.
Deals. It's only until May. Verizon Store today. Eligible phone with select trade and an unlimited ultimate plan required and service plan required for watch or tablet. See Verizon.com for additional details.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
fire up the grill.
Wait a minute. I smell barbecue.
Someone's grilling meat.
Barbecue?
Barbecue.
Did someone say barbecue?
Barbecue. Today is National Barbecue Day.
What is that? Barbecue? Who wants barbecue?
Pork, beef, or chicken.
I love barbecue. Barbecue.
Happy National Barbecue Day.
I'll fire up the grill. I do the grill.
Showtime.
Yes, today, May 16th, is National Barbecue Day. We'll have a look at the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events coming up.
Barbecue.
So tell me about the comedy show you were part of last night. It's not a regular comedy show. This was called Bit.
It was called Bit Bandits. Yeah, so I mean, comedy is so like prevalent in every big city now that the producers for the shows are coming up with all kinds of fun things,
gimmicks, challenges. That sort of
I guess it's not just a straight comedy show. I mean, everything from roast battles to what we did last night called Bit Bandits, where 6 comics would go up. Everybody would be watching their set, and then they would be paired up with one of the other comics who had to then redo what they saw somebody else do earlier.
Oh, so Mencia style.
Yeah, and then do it better or mock. Yeah, I mean, could be another name for the game.
Instead of a Lincoln Douglas debate, it's a Mencia comedy.
Well, instead of Bit Bandits, it's
I'm still really good friends with,
I know, me too. That's why
I'm really good friends with Carlos, and I don't feel he completely got a fair deal out of all that.
No.
So who got yours and who destroyed better?
So I was the intermission entertainment.
Oh, so you were not part of the Bit Bandits?
No, there was Anthony Austin Brown was on the show. Let's say he was going against another comic. After the intermission, they came back as the other comic
and did the same set or some of the same bits.
Some of the same bits, but better or in a mocking tone.
Mm-hmm. All right, was it fun?
It was super fun. It was like one of the most fun shows I've been to in a long time.
What else you got coming up tomorrow? Scenics for open mic?
Scenics for open mic. And Saturday, I will be at Mutt's Cantina with Jack, my dog.
Is that over there by the indoor skydiving place?
That is. It's right next door.
I've seen that thing. Is it open now? It must be.
Saturday, they will be.
That's their opening? I told my daughter, hey, there's a bar restaurant. It might just be a bar, for all I know. Or is it also
I believe it's both. It's a cantina.
Right. So anyway, I said, there's a bar restaurant called Mutt's. And she's like, is it a thing where you're allowed to take your dogs? And I said, yes. And she said, we should never take our dogs there.
Your dogs would do fine.
Would they?
Yeah.
We should never
I
take
never
our dogs
know.
there.
They're fine. They do good with all of the other dogs that come over. You just would have to have them on a leash.
Oh, they'd have to be on a leash.
I mean, it is
At
off leash
first?
there. Yeah, at first. Definitely your dogs at
I
first.
would hate, I don't know. I mean, like the other day I'm walking and my neighbor has his dog. And he's like, hey, let him meet, we're neighbors, let him know each other. Both dogs,
Are they barking?
his and mine, I don't know. They just weren't having it. Maybe it would have been better if they'd not been on leashes. I don't know. I try and get into the psychology of dogs a lot.
Yeah, Joanna Buzz sits outside at the
Trying to
with
figure
him,
out-
just looking at the dogs, saying, "What are you thinking?" The other day, I was at his house, and somebody else was there, and they were like, "So there was like a pigeon in the yard, and the dogs didn't do anything.
Wow.
They just slept." And the person was like, "The dogs are cool with like birds and pigeons." I was like, "Yeah."
The dogs are cool with
They
birds.
are.
They'll catch pigeon every now and then.
Do they?
You'll find the feathers.
But no body.
Something. Oh my God! I had a bat loose in my house yesterday afternoon.
Oh my God, it's time.
Wait,
And
what?
it was flapping around in my living room. And at that point, I was really
bat.
Hey, bat. So it was after a long day at work, Nico. And look, I was very tired.
Okay, yeah.
So I was very exhausted.
So you're probably even more shocked.
The last time I had a bat, I had to go get my next door neighbor George to come over, and he had like a net or something. Well, now I have a net, So I caught the bat in the net.
You did. You caught it yourself.
I did. I
Great
thought about
outdoor
making it.
style.
Is that the one where the bear knocks down the door?
Yeah. But there's also a scene where there's a bat and they have like a net.
What'd you do with the bat?
Yeah, what'd you do?
I took him outside and let him go.
Oh, that's nice of you.
What did you think I was going to do?
Murder.
A bat murder?
Yeah.
It's a fellow mammal.
You could have killed Laszlo.
Yeah, but it's that bat time of year. Those migrating Mexican fruit bats are back in my neighborhood.
Whoa. Don't call Joanna names, okay?
That she's a fruit bat? Let's go ahead and get to our Moshu calendar and daily almanac of events and find out what else is happening. As we mentioned, today's National Barbecue Day.
Barbecue.
Today is Mimosa Day.
Mimosas.
What's that, champagne?
And
orange juice.
Oh, no. All right. Today's National Piercing Day.
Oh, nice.
And
you got any piercings?
No.
You want some?
No.
We should make a piercing a bet one day.
Somebody has to get something pierced?
Yeah. Because that'll heal.
But it's got to be something. It can't just be your ear. It's got to be like a Prince Albert or something really extreme.
No.
A nipple.
Maybe a nip.
God.
I know.
I don't want to do that.
No.
Better than tattooed.
Today's National Sea Monkey Day. Sea monkeys used to be advertised in comic books when I was growing up. You'd always see advertisements for sea monkeys. And they were cartoons of these little humanoid fish people.
That had families
playing
and
volleyball and wearing sunglasses and stuff. And so they were, if you ordered them, they were actually dried out brine shrimp. So imagine a teeny, teeny, tiny, almost microscopic shrimp. And the guy who marketed them turned out to be like a neo-Nazi Nazi fascist.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, look up the Wikipedia on sea monkeys. Find out all about this guy.
Oh, all right.
So today's National Sea Monkey Day. Do you ever see old comic books where they have all this stuff like sea monkeys, or the other one was X-ray specs? It showed you looking through your hand and seeing the bones.
Oh, yeah.
I ordered that one time.
You did?
You know what it was?
What was
Just
it?
glasses that looked like that had like circles in them.
Spirals.
It didn't do anything.
You're all, I can't see my bones.
Right.
They didn't hypnotize you?
And these sea monkeys, I can't even see them, and they're certainly not wearing like a beach hat and sunglasses.
In the cartoons that they always appear in, they're always like, the parents will be like, oh, there's like dirt in this water, and then they like smush the little sea monkey.
What?
It wasn't an episode of Rugrats.
Okay.
It was also an episode of South Park where Miss chokes on Dick.
I'm sorry?
What? Should I have?
That's the name of the character. Oh, maybe I should.
What is that, an Estonian name?
Maybe
or
don't
something?
say it again.
South Park.
Estonian name.
Birthdays today include the beautiful actress Megan Fox, who's 38.
Oh, God, she's old.
Is she still with Machine Gun Kelly?
John, you want to take this?
I don't know. Are they?
Their marriage has been broken off, and she says that they will always have a lifetime connection.
Actress Melanie Linsky, who's great, is 47. And Wee Man from the Jackass guys is having a birthday. Jason Wee Man Acuna is 51 today. Tucker Carlson, used to be on Fox News, is 55. Janet Jackson is having a birthday today. She's 58. One of the Nirvana guys who isn't Kurt Cobain or Dave Grohl is having a birthday today. Chris Novoselic is 59 today. And he was the bassist for Nirvana. Actor Deborah Winger is 69 today from Officer and a Gentleman, and Urban Cowboy was a big breakout role for Deborah Winger, 69 today. Also turning 69, Soviet gymnast Olga Korbut turns 69 today. And it's a Bond birthday. Which Bond, you ask? Pierce Brosnan.
Oh.
Is 71. He was James Bond and Remington Steele, and for a while in the 80s, Remington Steele kept him from being the new James Bond.
It was a drive-by fruiting.
And beloved Mexican-American actor Danny Trejo turns 80 today. Danny Trejo is 80 years old.
Machete
es
80?
Also the proud owner of Trejo's Tacos.
Did you know he was like a gangster?
He's in prison.
He was in prison?
Yeah. He talks a lot about being in prison and then getting out, and he started getting cast in roles because he looked the part of like a heavy or a bad guy or whatever.
Only like 4'11".
No, there's no way. I'm sure he's at least
5'2".
Yeah, he's got to be. Danny Trejo is 80 today. A couple of losses in the world of comedy and rock. 40 years ago, in 1984, Andy Kaufman died of lung cancer in Los Angeles. Or did he? Remember, that was a big part of the Jim Carrey movie that a lot of people thought, oh, this is Andy Kaufman pranking us all again.
Yeah.
By pretending to die.
Yeah, Andy Kaufman, Tupac, and Jimmy Hoffa are all just like on an island somewhere.
Marilyn Monroe's there and Jim Morrison, too. In 2010, it's already been 14 years, but Ronnie James Dio passed away. He was 67 when the former lead singer of Black Sabbath died of stomach cancer in 2010. And that's...
Wait, the guy that was in the band Dio?
Yeah, he was... God, I hope I got that right. Wasn't he? When Ozzy was not the lead singer, I thought Dio was the lead singer for a while. Boy, I hope I didn't mess that up, because that would be a really embarrassing mistake on my part.
Don't look at me to confirm or deny it.
Joanna?
I don't know.
Today is National Barbecue Day. It's getting close enough to summer. Memorial Day's right around the corner. And a young man's thoughts turn to barbecue. Barbecue.
Barbecue. Barbecue. You got me grilling and a roasting, basting and a toasting. Barbecue. Barbecue. You gotta strike the match before you start the gas, 'cause if you wait too long, you'll be lying in the grass. Barbecue, barbecue, barbecue. You got me grilling and a roasting, basting and a toasting. Barbecue, barbecue. Chefs are flipping patties, takes a lot of skill. Burger fell apart, now it's falling through the grill. Barbecue, it's like a show. Barbecue, the smoke is in my eyes, it's burning chicken thighs. Barbecue, barbecue. Hope the weather's good, invite the neighborhood. Shrimps are on the Barbie and it's finger licking good. Barbecue, it's like a show. Barbecue, hot dogs are getting plump, so stick them in the buns. Barbecue,
Okay, so Joanna, thank God, Ronnie James Dio took over as lead singer, replacing Ozzy Osbourne in 1979. Why did I doubt myself?
I don't know. Why
I don't know. But also, Ronnie James Dio credited with inventing the devil horns at a rock concert. This, according to Ronnie James Dio. He said he was the first guy to do that. All right, that's the Mo Show Calendar Daily Almanac of Events. Joanna has entertainment news on the way. Coming up in the next hour, more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show is coming up right after this.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5.
Been a better time to lose car. See you at Viva Mitsubishi.
Broadcasting in El Paso to El Paso. The Buzz Adams Morning Show on 95.5 KLAQ.
Joanna's got our Hollywood Cheesemay in just a moment. Our entertainment report with Joanna Barbic coming up in just a few moments.
Yeah.
The NFL is distancing itself from homophobic and sexist comments made by Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker.
This dude.
Did you see any of the speech?
Yes, I did.
Wait. Like, is this going viral?
It is, yeah.
Butker.
Harrison Butker.
What a Butker.
He made the field goal that sent the Super Bowl into overtime, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was a hero.
Which I can guess I see why they invited him.
So he was invited to a Catholic-affiliated university not far from Kansas City, Benedictine College. And he made some comments. Let me see what the NFL has to say here. It was Benedictine College. He gave the commencement speech on Saturday. NFL Senior Vice President John Bean said Harrison Butker gave a speech in his personal capacity. His views are not those of the NFL as an organization. The NFL is steadfast in our commitment to inclusion, which only makes our league stronger. During his speech, Butker opined on various diabolical lies told to women, his takes on abortion and in vitro fertilization, which are very hardcore Catholic. So I guess that's the thing you have to know about Harrison Butker.
He's hardcore Catholic.
Hardcore Catholic. He encouraged men to be unapologetic in your masculinity and to, quote, fight against the cultural emasculation of men. Various city officials in Kansas City are upset about this. Others took issue with Butker for referencing Taylor Swift in his speech. Somebody observed one of the worst parts of this NFL player's awful speech is that he quoted a Taylor Swift song before telling women they should be homemakers and serve their man's career. So I got a little bit of some of the local news folks talking about Harrison Butker's speech, and you can hear a little bit of... Let me preface this by saying he's entitled to that opinion.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
There are
agree.
people that can hold that. You're allowed to hold these opinions. But
sure,
people are allowed to
not like them
and not remain silent about them.
Also, Joanna,
fair is fair.
Buzz, have you heard of the new trend for videos called trad wives?
Yes. Yeah, I know what a trad wife is.
Do you think he kind of probably adheres to this idea of it?
He's probably aware of it.
What the hell's a trad wife?
That's somebody who does not want a career. They want to have children. They want to be homemakers. They want to raise children in the home. I mean, this was kind of the American dream of the 1950s.
Yeah. Traditional wife, Joanna.
Oh, okay.
I guess anything you saw June Cleaver do. So you had a dress and heels and pearls on by the time your husband came home, had dinner on the table. I mean, it sounds kind of like paradise to me, but here.
You're so dumb.
Again, I want to stress, these are views that people are absolutely allowed to hold. I don't know how I would feel sitting there as a senior, and if I were a female who had just spent 4 years in college, and this guy's telling me I need to get pregnant and get in the kitchen immediately.
Because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation.
What the hell?
Right.
I'm sure there's many of you that might become successful,
You
whatever.
all probably worked really hard here to be at your graduation day, but I know for sure that you are probably more excited to bring children into this world.
Also,
how delusional do you have to be to think that that's what all those women are most likely thinking about.
I wonder
So, like,
what
well,
the.
it's a Catholic university, so yeah.
Also, some people brought up that Harrison Butker's own mother is an accomplished physicist who has multiple advanced degrees.
What? Dude.
Do you want to hear some of these ladies on the local news giving their opinion on what they think about Harrison Butker?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you can imagine, those comments generating a lot of backlash. But he wasn't done there. Butker also took aim at the LGBTQ plus community, calling their pride a deadly sin. He also had a message for men, telling them to lean into their masculinity and stop letting society emasculate them. The Kansas City Chiefs have had no comment on their kicker's remarks.
So, he's speaking to an audience, which I don't know how they took it, but from what I read and heard, he got a standing ovation, did he not?
Oh,
so
he did.
Your audience, you could say, right?
I guess.
So,
well,
he was.
Well, then, if you get a standing ovation from women, what did you just spend 4 years of your life doing? You should have got married as soon as you turned 18 to have more children and better support, right?
Actually, now that I hear this, that he got that standing ovation, yeah, that's cool. Actually, I don't have any problems with his words now because he knew his audience, I guess.
he knew his audience.
Received. It depends. I mean, some people, that's what they want, and that's fine.
So
But-
some people think he's an idiot and some people think he's not. Okay, good.
I mean, that's
I'm
how
so
it
glad.
works, isn't it?
And he has to know, though, that his comments are going to be put out there on
It's just a bunch of women talking.
for everyone to hear and see. And so, yeah, a lot of people, though.
So that's what's going on with that. Time for the Hollywood Cheesemay, our entertainment news with Joanna Barba.
It's the Hollywood Cheeseman. It's the Hollywood Cheeseman. Joanna, tell us more.
Here is Joanna Barba with our Hollywood Cheesemay. Good morning, Joanna.
Good
Are
morning.
you cool with the woman talking now?
Oh, no. Shots fired.
Is that okay,
Yeah.
my lord?
Please.
All right.
Go have some babies.
I mean, I've already had my breakfast, so you're clear to talk.
Keep it up, bud.
You know she owns you.
She knows full well that I am making fun of Harrison Butker, right?
You're a Butker.
Well, how about the Hollywood Cheesemay then?
Yes. During their upfront presentation, Netflix revealed that beloved 1996 golf comedy Happy Gilmore is getting the sequel treatment with original star Adam Sandler set to return. Sandler starred in and co-wrote Universal Pictures' Happy Gilmore, which was directed by Dennis Dugan. The sports comedy remains one of Sandler's most popular films.
One of his best, absolutely.
But they did not announce any other details like more casting or a release
Shooter
date.
McGavin, maybe?
Yeah, Christopher McDonald's still alive. No Chubbs, though.
Aw, Chubbs. Speaking of golf, Will Ferrell will play a fictional legend of the game in a comedy called Golf, which will also star Rami Youssef. Netflix will also be the home of the NFL's Christmas Day games for the next 3 years.
I guess a lot of people from Happy Gilmore, that movie's like 30 years old, right?
1996. So almost, yeah.
Yeah, almost 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Flaherty was in it. He was the guy who kept heckling Happy Gilmore.
You suck!
The big guy who played Jaws in the James Bond movies.
Oh,
was in
yeah.
that. Bob Barker is no longer with us.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Lee Trevino, though, is still around. So hopefully Lee Trevino will get to give disapproving
who was the girl
looks.
that his love interest?
That was Julie Bowen from Modern Family.
Oh.
She's still around.
Yeah, she's
Sure
still
she
around.
is. Looking good, too.
In April, Eminem announced a new album, The Death of Slim Shady Coup de Grace. The rapper is now really leaning into the morbid aspect of it with a fake obituary, which he put in a real newspaper. The obit, as it's seen in the Detroit Free Press newspaper, had a headline of Slim Shady made lasting impressions and the subheadline of Fans Will Never Forget Controversial Rapper. The obituary itself reads, quote, a product of Detroit who began his career there as a rogue splinter in the flourishing underground rap scene of the mid to late 1990s, Shady first became a household name in 1999 with the debut of his playfully deranged single, My Name Is, which, along with its uniquely eye-catching video, exposed the young artist and his lyrics to a wider audience. May he truly find the peace in the afterlife that he could not find on Earth. The album is expected to drop this summer.
I think this is a bigger deal to Eminem than it is to anybody else.
He's killing off Slim Shady.
Yeah, he's killing Slim Shady?
Yeah, it's called The Death of Slim Shady. The album.
This isn't his last album as a rapper, though, right?
You're just saying the character.
Okay.
The character of Slim Shady.
I created a monster. Nobody wants to hear monster no more. They want Shady.
Wow.
Wow. I'm chopped liver.
Buzz Adams.
Do you know how I know that?
How do you know that?
From that Speaking Rock commercial that was running for months about the Slim Shady tribute artist. That's right.
That's what he picked up from that. Finally, it's my favorite time of year. Time to see who can give the longest standing ovation at the Cannes Film Festival. And now we know the time to beat. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, the fifth installment in George Miller's celebrated action franchise, had its world premiere at the Cannes Film Festival on Wednesday night and was greeted with, do you guys want to guess how long the standing ovation was?
15 minutes.
Oof, a little too much.
Oh, yeah?
God. Anything more than 5 minutes.
I think at first, like when they start premiering the movies, they'll get longer as the week goes by.
10 minutes.
Nico, guess?
5 to 7 is too long.
It's already too long, right?
Yeah.
It was greeted with a 7-minute standing ovation.
And then you have to stand there for all 7 minutes. You're like, really? Okay.
How awkward is that?
Yeah.
Like you just keep clapping and clapping?
Yeah, but they went a lot longer than that in previous years, right?
Yes, of course. They've gone longer. But this is already the first long one that we've got for this season.
Is the movie out yet in wide release?
I'm so happy you asked
I'm
that.
seeing
It
the
will be
trailer.
released in theaters May 24th.
All right, so not this week, but next week.
Stars Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth.
Have you heard the like it's coming out that in the first Fury Road that Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy did not get along well?
Oh, it was like famously.
Yes,
Yeah.
like they have a feud.
Yeah, but I think who directs them? George Miller?
Yes.
Yeah, I think George Miller said it's just like their different techniques as actors just clashed with each other, and
yeah, that's weird.
That's what it was all about. Did you like Fury Road?
You're gonna print something right now.
What are you printing? What's he printing?
Nico from the Buzz Adams Morning Show would like to invite you to join.
With your entertainment news, I'm Joanna Barba.
Yeah, Joanna.
Nico from the Buzz Adams Morning Show is inviting you to join him and his dog Jack this Saturday at noon at the grand opening of Mutt's Canine Cantina.
Woo!
That is right next to Top Golf. Really, it's right next to the indoor skydiving place on the west side.
Mm-hmm.
Mutt's Canine Cantina is encouraging buying memberships so you and your dog can enjoy all the full benefits of the facility. There's a day fee option for non-members. Food, drink, and furry fun all await during your time at Mutt's Canine Cantina. You could walk away with El Paso Chihuahuas tickets, or you could walk away with someone's Chihuahua. You shouldn't do that, though. Stop by and bark at Nico between noon and 2 this Saturday.
Please do not bark at me.
That's it.
People are just going to be going,
Hey, let's...
All right, DMX.
Let's get you a dog costume, okay?
No.
That'd be great.
That would be cute.
We're outside. It's going to be hot as hell.
Oh, dude, it is going to be hot.
It's nice and shady. They got the blowers out there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should dress like a dog. I'll arrange the costume. All you have to do is wear it, okay?
You dress like a bitch.
Okay. That's noon to 2 this Saturday at Mutt's Canine Cantina, right next to the indoor skydiving place on the west side.
While you're working away, We're working for you. Our job starting at
Get tested. Know what it is in one stop at Upper Valley Urgent Care, 121 East Red Road.
Oh, guess who this is?
Buzz Adams and the KLAQ Morning Show.
You must be the greatest radio show host ever.
Buzz is back.
So I've made a decision. I'll talk about it more in the 8 o'clock hour.
Okay.
I'm going back to my pre-pandemic tipping policy.
And what was that?
Tip the people that traditionally you tip. Servers who bring you your food in the United States anyway.
Okay, so I just went to pick up food right now, and it was to go.
Uh-huh.
Did they swivel the iPad around
And
for
they
you?
asked what
That
the-
is a diabolical move, man.
Okay. And did you notice what the tipping starts at?
It was a percent.
18% or 20%?
It started
What
at
was the lowest?
15, 18, 20, I think.
Right. And then is there an option, no tip or other?
Yeah, but smaller, and it's like they look at you. But also, I just took it to go. They didn't serve me.
If you should tip anybody, it should be the guy back in the kitchen, right?
Yeah, the cook.
The Simpsons' entire episode was about tipping culture, and it was a really good social satire, I think, on tipping culture. Maybe that's what's inspired me. If I ordered food to go and they had it ready, I would add a gratuity, usually 20%. Just for picking up the food to go.
Oh,
that was during the pandemic.
And remember, Lisa made a big would shame us about it.
Lisa.
During the pandemic, I was like, yeah, definitely start tipping people.
Yeah.
People were
But
going
them
through
days are
tough
over,
times.
folks.
Those days are over. So
Now I'm in tough times, all right?
I got to show you this.
Wait, can I just read a really funny comment?
Of course you may.
From our good friend Iggy. He says, for the Mutts remote, you guys should make Nico just like a fire hydrant.
How funny would that be? If you were out there in a giant fire hydrant and we just as an experiment to see how many dogs will
get away. Shoo!
If such a costume exists, we couldn't rent it. We'd have to buy it because it's going to be soaked in dog urine.
You gotta buy it now.
The thing is over.
No, thank you, Iggy, for the wonderful suggestion.
I love when Iggy messages me funny things.
There's a $16,000 robot that looks like a human. Well, you know what it looks like? It looks like the robots in iRobot.
Oh,
the Will Smith
for $16,000. That's a steal.
For $16,000, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff it can do. But we are already an hour and a half into the show. We haven't taken a single phone call, so we've been getting calls all along.
Yep.
I'd like to clear a few of these from the neckline. Thank you to everybody who calls in on the neckline, leaves us a message. We appreciate it. 844-805-NECK, 844-805-6325 to leave a neckline message.
Hey, good morning show. Buzz Adams, Buzz, Nico, and Joanna.
Hey.
Sorry. About the Harrison Butker thing, I have two things, and this isn't meant to be a joke, I'm not sure if he's married or not, but somebody should check in on his wife, watch them walk away, and if she does the thing with the hands and the finger, the thumb finger, like, help me, check in on her. And also mom issues, if his mom was that successful, why is he all like, oh, women can't be this? Those are the two things, man. Talk about career suicide, man. But if we just say, like, oh, this guy knew his audience, like Nico joked about it. This is how we get to Gilead,
This is the road to
the Handmaid's Tale.
There were so many comments about that.
I got to back this up. This is the road to Gilead.
Like Nico joked about it. This is how we get to Gilead, This is what takes us to the Handmaid's Tale kind of a society. When we just look at these women that are like, oh, trad wife things, Okay, yeah, you want to be that, but do you really want to be that, I don't think so.
Yeah, Nico brought up, I'd heard trad wife. A lot of people do you remember Katie Britt, who gave the Republican response to the State of the Union?
Yeah.
Like immediately a lot of people were calling her a trad wife, which I don't think is necessarily an insult.
Are you kidding me? You would love a trad wife.
That's what someone in the app chat says.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it in front of a group of
They're
people
like, did you
who just
notice how
graduated.
excited Buzz got when they were talking about traditional wives?
And have babies.
Because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation.
All right.
Is that a baby crying in the
Yeah,
background?
and there's a baby crying in the middle to really put a exclamation point on it.
So that's the kicker for the
dramatic
Kansas
purposes.
City Chiefs, who was giving the what's it called? Commencement speech at Benedictine College.
We got to point out, he got a standing ovation from the crowd.
Something that I didn't.
Not one person was like, "F- you, Harrison Buckner."
Right.
If I were a dad in there, it was like, what do you think I just paid for 4 years of college for?
Wait, aren't your nieces kind of like that?
They work. I mean, they have jobs, but I think both of them are very much looking forward to having kids. And
didn't they get married at 21?
They both got married at an alarmingly young age, I think. They both got married last summer. Remember, I had to go to Oklahoma, and then I had to go back 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of my nieces. But both of them are working, and the youngest is still in school.
Like your brother wouldn't, he's cool with them working. He's not like, oh, they need to stay.
Hunker down and have babies.
Look, you hear as much about these trad wives, and you think, well, there's a lot of people who feel like that. In your life, how many people do you know, though? The idea of, one parent goes out and earns an income and the other parent is the homemaker has been dead for basically 60 years after the war. It kind of held up for a while, but then...
Is it a bad sign that I have no friends that have that type of lifestyle?
What type of lifestyle?
I have no friends that have a traditional marriage and kids.
The reality is, the United States was so prosperous after World War II, but then they started cutting wages. So if you wanted to live the real good life, you had to have both parents working. If you didn't want to, before this point, whenever it was, you had one car. If you were lucky, you had one car. But now everybody wants two cars. You used to not have a closet full of clothes. But
did your mom work growing up?
Off and on. Off and on. When we were little, I remember my mom being home. But then once we got old enough where we were going to be at school, most of the day she would work. Sometimes she was a substitute teacher.
Didn't she go to school with you?
Terrible. I hated it. As far as the trad wives, that doesn't really work for a lot of people. I mean, just to scrape by, you've got to have both parents working. And then if you want the extra nice things, you want to go on a vacation, once a year. Mm-hmm. It takes two incomes to do that. Today is National Mimosa Day. And mimosa is champagne, and you get them at a lot of brunches.
Somebody I'm not sure if this was a neckline call or a chat message, but they said, mimosas are orange juice and champagne, and you sound fancy.
Wait, hold here you go.
Hey, y'all said it's Mimosa Day. Hey, why is it whenever, you order mimosa, it's kind of fancy, but if you get a screwdriver, it's like you're from a trailer park. They're basically the same thing.
Well, champagne
One's
and vodka.
Yeah.
I want to show you this Android, not a phone, but literally an Android that you can get for $16,000. It can slice Coke bottles in half I don't see that how that helps humans much, though. It's from a company called Unitree, and it's the G1 humanoid agent. Can be yours for just $16,000.
Ooh, let's get one, Buzz.
And Buzz is already like, I want one.
Yeah.
No, I would not trust. I know that thing's going to turn on me. Every movie I've ever seen, that thing turns on you, whether it's a Megan or a Terminator. The 16,000 G1 humanoid agent, a bipedal, they call it an agent.
Agent?
It can do things like
Smith?
It can do things like take a punch.
Whoa.
Also, it's the size of a child, so it's like you're hitting a 6-year-old.
Yeah, but it didn't fall down when you punched it. It has like a gyroscope or something.
Yeah, most 6-year-olds would fall down if you punched them that hard. Look at this. Okay, so it's like the robot does all this contortionist stuff, which is cool, but for $16,000, what's the functionality here? But it's only $16,000. I mean, that's the cost of a used car, right? Wait until they can turn that into a sex bot.
What is the purpose of him doing that?
Wait, what do you mean wait till they turn into a sex bot? Sex bot was the first thing I bet somebody did to that thing.
Somebody totally banged that.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the process by which the G1 humanoid agent folds itself into a carryable position. So watch next. So it's got a bow staff, but look at that. That could just as easily be a sword. We're getting very close to weaponizing these robots.
Oh, snap.
It's doing like a drum major thing, but again...
It needs to work on its technique.
How does that help me?
It'll fight for you.
Yeah, self-defense.
Okay,
Robot,
so
attack that burglar.
it's showing the Unitree android cracking nuts. And these look like...
busted nuts.
Right, these are nut-crushing robots.
You're just sitting next
You're
to it.
just asking for
nuts.
trouble. Look at this. Now he's going to crush the nut.
It just smashes it.
That's not an elegant way.
Right. I could just take like a...
That's a mess. That would be like hitting... What is that, a walnut?
Yeah.
That would be like hitting a walnut with a hammer.
Hammer. Yeah, give me a hammer.
Right. How is this...
Unless that robot is cleaning up that mess it just made, then I'll be impressed.
Man, try crack a nut without making a mess and then clean up after it. So far, this $60,000 Android is not better than a
I'm not seeing
vacuum cleaner.
how worth it is.
Okay, so did you see what it did there? Like a blade comes out of its arm and it cuts the top off a Coca-Cola
Look
bottle.
at all the Coca-Cola that falls out. You just wasted half my soda, robot.
All right, that was cool.
What, he's making like toast in a pan?
He could flip food in the pan. I mean, there's adult human beings that can't do that.
What's he doing there?
He's banging himself.
I think he's just demonstrating how he can use a hammer to hit his own hand.
Use the hammer to hit the nut.
Okay, that's awesome. It's just soldering stuff with what's hand. Yeah, that's amazing.
Unitree
Okay, so what
Robotics
we've learned-
2024.
For more complicated robot-y things, it's good for. But for basic things like busting a nut and opening up a Coca-Cola, useless.
Well, the nut was busted. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but a mess everywhere.
Busted nut.
Nut mess everywhere.
The robots are here. They are the size of a 6-year-old. And
I'm like the guy kicking it.
and it looks like you're just doing things to antagonize our eventual robotic overlords. Not me. I'm nice to everything, even my Google Assistant. I always say please and thank you.
You do.
Hopefully they'll remember that. They'll keep me around as a pet when the rest of you are crushed underneath their steel feet.
Coming to theaters, Arnold is back. And this time, he's a Unitree G1 robot that's been sent from the future to crush nuts and open Coke bottles. Arnold is the Nut Crusher.
Listen to me. I'm from the future. Come with me if you want me to crush your nuts.
Huh? No, that's okay. I can handle...
And the Coke bottle. The bottle needs to be opened now.
I have a bottle opener, and...
I will crush your nuts now. now!
Watch as this $16,000 robot crushes nuts and opens bottles.
Honey, who are you talking to in here?
Some robot who wants to crush my nuts.
Get to the crusher! Get to it now!
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Nut Crusher.
Hasta la vista, nuts.
Coming to theaters.
Hey, it's Daniel Paulus. I'll be along starting at 3 with everything from Aerosmith to Nirvana to...
Been a better time to lose car. See you at Viva Mitsubishi. The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station.
So there's one topic that a lot of callers have seemed to latch on to. You got a little bit of audio coming up for me, but I wanted to get to some of these. So the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs gave a commencement speech at a Catholic college. And we only really scratched the surface. He told a bunch of students, men and women, who were about to get their diplomas, that really what women ought to be doing is having babies, getting in the kitchen, and supporting their husbands. And you say he got a standing ovation?
Right, yeah.
We've got a lot of reaction. And when I say scratch the surface, he also went after Pride Month, the LGBTQ community, gender identity, and a lot of people are saying he was clearly taking shots at Joe Biden. So let me let you hear a little bit more from Chiefs kicker. And again, he's entitled to all of these opinions.
Sure.
There are people listening who probably agree and think that the world would be a better place if we went back to whatever Harrison Butker thinks America used to be.
From the man behind the COVID lockdowns to the people pushing dangerous gender ideologies onto the youth of America, they all have a glaring thing in common. They are Catholic.
Wait a minute, wasn't Trump behind the COVID lockdowns? Biden wasn't president when the COVID lockdown started.
Yeah.
Is he saying that Biden was behind the COVID lockdowns?
Yeah.
The COVID lockdown started in 2020. Biden wasn't elected until November 2020.
Oh, people are selectively misremembering all of this just to fit whatever narrative in their head.
The NFL speaking out against Kansas City Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker's college graduation speech last weekend.
While COVID might have played a large role throughout your formative years, it is not unique. Bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues.
So, yeah, Trump policies were terrible then.
I recall
I agree with
COVID,
him on that, yeah.
Donald Trump was still president when things started locking down. If anything, they started opening back up when Biden took over in 2021.
The athlete's facing criticism for referencing his conservative beliefs in the commencement address.
See, they're not even really talking about this. What they're talking about is saying that women should basically, once you get your diploma, get pregnant, get barefoot, and get in the kitchen.
Seemingly attacking Pride Month, President Biden's policies, and imposing his thoughts on a woman's role in the world.
But I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother.
You're not really a human if you're a woman until you
have
find
not
a man.
begun to live.
Right. Your life hasn't started until you have a man that you marry and kids.
You
and
are
if you
dead
don't,
until then.
If you don't meet those criteria, you're not really alive.
Well, what else is your body for?
Kicking a ball through a goalpost, I guess.
Embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
Okay. So we got a few calls about this.
All right.
The topic of trad wives came up. So to the best of your ability, Joanna had not heard that term before.
Yeah, tradwife stands for traditional wives. If you think of what wives used to do during the 1950s,
Think of June Cleaver.
Yeah, June Cleaver, just like Leave It to Beaver. A man would go off to earn the bacon, bring home the bread.
Yeah.
Wait.
Fry it up in a pan?
Yeah. And the woman would stay at home taking care of the kids.
So that's the
I'm not going to lie. I have seen a lot of TikToks recently where women do want to go back to this. And there is a subsect of women who are like...
Yeah, but they're like really rich people who
usually,
the woman can afford
absolutely.
to stay home.
It does seem like the trad wife, they're pretty well off. It's pretty hard to get by with this on one income.
Absolutely.
Unless, well, I mean, Harrison Butker, I think he got paid something like $6 million last year. Yeah, he doesn't need his wife to go out and work an extra job.
Man, everyone keeps kind of, talking down on these traditional wives. Like, that's got to suck. I bet they feel, I don't know, man. I wonder what they think of it, how people just insult them. But the thing is the women that I do know that were traditional wives they're pretty happy. Like, the ones I know, they're great. Like, they're awesome. They, close to their kids. Everything. Like, I don't see it as a bad thing. I mean, if they want to work. If they don't, like, they want to be a traditional wife, go for it. But I think it's messed up to kind of dog on them, especially when they're probably the happiest ones I know.
I wouldn't say we're dogging on them. And I mean, if that is what you aspire to,
I think it was
do that.
I think it was the point that he was saying that a woman's life doesn't truly start until they become a traditional wife. And I think that is just...
I asked you how many friends in your friend group have that traditional, the husband works, the wife is at home, and has dinner on the table every night.
I have none.
You have zero friends.
I have zero friends that have a traditional.
Now, would you say your parents were a traditional?
Nope.
No, your mom worked?
My mom was always working.
Oh, poor Melinda, she's not alive yet. According to Harrison Buckner.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be happy, too, if my husband was out there making all the bacon and I just stayed at home.
Your mom worked growing up, too, right, Jonah?
Harrison Butker's mom is an accomplished physicist.
I think there's a crossover between this ideology about trad wife and like the Andrew Tate toxic masculinity, where it's all about standing up for being a man.
Okay.
Good morning, Mosho. Yeah, I have two friends that, they have a wife and kids, and they don't let the wife work. They don't let the wife go to school, and they've been like that for 2 decades. They've been married for over 2 decades. And yeah, man, I mean, I don't agree. Nowadays, you probably have to have two parents working, in order to get the things that you want, unless you have a freaking awesome job.
Like kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right.
That you can afford to, tell your wife that she can stay home. But, this guy struggles, but he refuses to let his wife work. I don't know what the deal with that is. I don't know if it's if he feels insecure about it or I don't know what it is, but yeah, that still exists, that mentality, I guess. Have a good morning, guys.
I think there are a lot of dads out there, if your daughters haven't gone to college yet, you're thinking, hey, if you decide trad wife is what you want to be, let me know before you go to college.
What if your daughter said that?
Like what, in a million centuries she might say something like that?
Yeah, I know. She would never actually do it.
We got another call here.
Wait, I just want to say that we got a call and I did not hang up on them. They hung up on me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just saying.
Did I miss, were they on hold a long time?
No.
Oh.
But I was like on the phone with them and
All right,
then
call
it
back.
hung up midway.
Okay.
I didn't hang up on you, dude.
How's it going, guys? I don't really see what's wrong with the kicker speech. He's telling the absolute truth. Most people that go to college won't be successful, especially in today's...
Wait, that's not what he was saying.
He wasn't saying that it's not worth going to... Can you imagine getting a commencement speaker who said college isn't worth... Which I guess for half of the audience, he kind of was. This is Padilla, and I've noticed something about Padilla. Padilla has mentioned many times that he didn't go to college and yet he's successful. He really carries it around like a chip on his shoulder.
Right.
But that is not my takeaway from what the Chiefs kicker was saying.
Today is especially women, they have a lesser of a chance to be successful.
Wrong. No, there's a big gap between women with college degrees and men with college degrees. Women are achieving more success, and I think
they're much more employed.
I think that's behind part of this. So, first of all, Padilla, I played 15 seconds of you, and everything you've said so far has been factually incorrect.
And I've been married 10 years. I'm the one that goes to work and provides for the family. My wife stays home. She raises the kids. She cleans the house. She cooks for me when I get home. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if it works for you, that's awesome.
If it works for both of you, if it's perfect for you and for her, that's great.
And she loves it. She's happy. And that's how it is, And I think that's the way it should be, Like, look at a lot of these people that don't do that where they're at, Some examples are on the show that you're on, All right, thanks.
What?
Wait, what?
That because I don't have, or Joanna does, or what are you
saying? I don't stay home and clean for my non-existent husband.
Yeah, hey,
none of us are married, dude.
Padilla, I'm way happier. Okay, I'm way happier.
Like, look at a lot of these people that don't do that where they're at, Some examples are on the show that you're on, All right, thanks.
Wait, go back.
He kind of said the same thing in the app chat, and I didn't quite fully understand what he meant.
Wait a minute. So people need to live their life exactly like you live your life, or by your definition, they can't be happy unless they live their life the way you live yours.
I'm sorry, dude. You're insane.
App chat, he said, look where the people on the show who disagree with the kicker's speech are.
Oh, you're so much better than us?
I'm not married.
I'm swimming in money, man. I'm insanely. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, seriously. Go back right before he said that, because he said something that to me he thinks all women should be in the kitchen, that he doesn't even think women should be allowed to work.
And she knows that she's happy.
She knows that
great for your wife.
That's how it is,
Amazing.
And I think that's the way it should be,
That's the way it should be.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, it could be like that.
If I'm willing
it's
to,
great that your wife is happy about it, Padilla. You're providing for her and your family.
Let's notice, I'm not knocking your choices or your wife's choices. I'm not criticizing what you're doing. You're criticizing what you're doing, and you're assuming that your life is so much happier than mine.
Oh, sir, I guarantee you that you're sad sometimes.
Hello, Tracy.
Ooh.
Hey guys.
Hey, Tracy.
Tracy.
Tracy, you got thoughts on trad wives?
Yeah. I might offer maybe a little different perspective, since I'm probably older than most of the people listening to this show, so I grew up in a different time. So yeah, when I grew up, all the moms were trad wives, all of them. I mean, I didn't know women that worked. They all stayed at home. All my friends, all their moms stayed at home. The funny thing is, when we all got old enough, every one of our moms went and got a job. Every single one of them. Right. They all went out and got jobs. Some of them had college degrees. They went into teaching. My mom did not have a degree. She went in, she was a teacher's aide for 18 years. Another one of the moms went to work. The family owned a grocery store. She went to work. In fact, two of the moms, their husbands were brothers-in-law. They owned a grocery store. They both went to work at the grocery store. Every single one of these moms got a job. So were they fulfilled when they got married and had kids? Or were they more fulfilled when, after their kids were old enough, they all went out and joined the workforce? I'm not saying one is right or one is wrong,
right.
But, you get to have a choice.
And they went out to the workforce for a reason.
Also, let's say you're going to, get married young, have kids very young, and be a stay-at-home mom while the kids are in the house. Well, there is at least an 18-year gap in your employment history, which is going to set you back. I mean, if you wanted to accomplish something with a career or with a college education, the idea of being a trad wife for 20 years is going to be to the detriment of your career, it seems like. But now, Tracy, I remember when I was a kid, that was, maybe not as much so as when you were a kid, but that it was still very unusual to find one of my friends' moms who worked unless they were a teacher.
Right.
But they went into the workforce, and not because they needed to. I mean, my family probably had the least amount of money, but most of these people, they own businesses. They didn't need that extra income. These moms wanted to get out of the house and do something.
Right.
That was it. That was the motivation.
All right. Thanks, Tracy. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, guys. Bye.
And here is Marley on the topic of trad wives.
Hey, Marley.
Hey, Marley.
Hi, guys. Good morning. I think I'm going to open a different kind of can of worms with this topic.
Oh, believe me, now that I know that you're a female caller, I am dying to hear what you think about this.
Seriously.
You know what? We're Mexican. This is a Mexican city. The culture. Everybody expects for you to be popping out children.
Right.
Everybody expects that from all women, not to have a career, unfortunately. But I wish it was so much different, because there's a lot of work being a stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much work, and I think, like the previous caller said, their moms got a job after their kids got older, because, I mean, you get bored, just like any other job, unless you're buzzed and you have an awesome job. You can be that for 50, 60 years. You get sometimes tired of your job, and that's pretty much what it becomes, being a stay-at-home
Marley,
mom.
can I ask you a question? Can I? And this,
Go ahead.
I want to ask you a question. Why did you wake up and choose violence this morning against me?
You know what? I didn't know this word existed, the trad wife. I was listening to you all, and I said, "What is that?" And I looked it up, and I said, "Oh wow, there's actually an actual word for this."
Well, and Marley, I think you're so right. Being like from El Paso, we know everybody. We all have a friend or somebody that has kids already when they were younger.
But I know plenty of people who come from traditional Mexican families that put a premium on education. Yes, even for their daughters. I know plenty of people with a Hispanic background that education is a very important thing to them, and their daughters expect to have careers when they get out of the house.
Very few, though. And when they do get an education, they don't even get to fulfill that, because they marry a man. And I don't know if you know this word. It's called machismo.
Oh, yeah.
I think, you know what, and I think what you're describing, I think a little bit of what Padilla was describing there is insecurity. You know, the idea of, like, now there are going to be women that aren't serving me. They're going to compete against me, maybe for my job. Even maybe not the kicker, but it sounds like a weak position to me.
That women can only be happiest
if they're serving a man. Sounds like the position of somebody who's afraid.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it would be awesome if you'd be able to stay home and have somebody to provide for you, but...
Hey, they got an android that's pretty much on the track. I might marry that android for $16,000. All right, thanks.
Have little babies.
Yeah, have little android,
have
half human, half android babies. Thanks for the call.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Wait, so what are you going to do with your flashlight?
I don't have a flashlight.
You can't neglect that.
I just install it in the robot.
I'm not knocking how people live their life. If that's what you want and that's what your partner wants and you're both happy, then you deserve your happiness.
This kicker has a mother who is a professional physicist.
A renowned physicist.
And to say that a woman is completely defined and limited.
Even more important than her accomplishments as a physicist, she made the best mac and cheese and hot dogs on the entire block.
She made this kicker.
As a woman, I will say he has that right to say what he said. And women have the right to choose which life they want to live. If they want to be stay-at-home moms, that's great.
And we all have the right to have an opinion on what he said.
Exactly.
That's the way it works.
We also all have the right to fight for a right to party.
Woo! Yeah, my mom just threw away my best porno mag.
Is that a lyric or... Okay.
Oh, Nico.
I'll kick you out of my house if you don't cut that hair. And you can't relate to that lyric, obviously. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and, you know what? Let's push news back a little bit. You had a question that you wanted to run by me?
Yes. This is all for the girl dads. If you are a girl dad out there.
That's trad wives and girl dads.
Yeah.
Am I a girl dad?
You are a girl dad. Yeah. You have a girl that you're a father of.
And you're a dad
You're a
of
dad.
a girl.
So this is all about girl dads, and girl dads on TikTok are asking a very interesting question on what it's like to be.
Well, you ask the question, I will give you an honest, direct answer, whatever it is.
Sure, I'll tell you when we come back.
Unless it's weird. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. More of the Buzz Adams Morning Show's on the way right after this.
Artist interviews, new music discoveries, celebrating artists' birthdays, commemorating releases, champion of all things rock.
Get you behind your new wheels in 60 minutes or less. Let's turn tax refunds into dream rides at Ride Drive, the only way to drive.
Local and loco.
Don't you know I'm loco?
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
Well, I will say that Harrison Butker really opened a kettle of fish here. People have a lot of comments on what he had to say about what the thing that gets me is that half of the audience were women who were there to get their college diplomas, and he's basically telling them you're not really a human unless you're in the kitchen and raising kids and being a trad wife.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hi, this is I'm calling it about that whole picker comment thing. I think what a lot of the people and callers are missing is the fact that he's saying that women don't have a choice, that this is our only role in this world is to be homemakers and to be wives and provide children. The key thing that they're missing is we have a choice. Now, we're not trying to knock down traditional wives, because us women, we support each other. What we're saying is it's our choice, it's our right to choose what we want to do. I work full time, and I have 2 kids, and I'm pregnant. And I love my job. I stayed at home, the first few months of each child being born. I couldn't do it. For me, it was not something I could do. I was bored out of my mind. I love working. That's the thing that a lot of these men are missing, is that they're acting like we're not human beings and we don't have a say-so over our own lives. That's the issue here, is that we have a choice. We should have a choice. You are not allowed to tell us what we can and cannot do with our lives, with our bodies. And that's the biggest issue that I think, for me at least, is that this guy is trying to say that this is our only role and we're nothing but meant to do this, and that.
All right. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, seriously. And that is a good point, because Padilla made it sound, and same with the kicker.
This is the only way to be. Unless you're like me, you're not happy.
Yeah.
There's no way you could have a good life.
I think this is how life should be. And you're completely wrong in that.
Would you like to hear Padilla's responses?
Sure.
He goes, "Hey, Nico, I thought you were all for science and the sole purpose of species." I guess he did a typo. Isn't it to reproduce?
I do not believe that humanity's species' only purpose is to reproduce. No.
It's their primary purpose.
And then now this is directed
any
to
any species. If you want to reduce us to animals, which you could, sure. At the most basic, fundamental evolutionary level, we procreate. But because we have reasoning and a higher sense than that,
I don't know any other species that gets married.
Yeah. This one is directed to Buzz. He says, "Buzz is swimming in money, but how lonely is he? Money can't hug you back. Money doesn't tell you it loves you. Money can't support you when you're down."
You don't need well, first of all, he is very lonely. But second of all,
let's not talk about how lonely he is.
You don't need a wife to fill that hole.
I'm somebody needs to fill the hole. People think because I spend a lot of time by myself that I'm unhappy. Can I tell you guys a secret?
You love it.
I love being by
love
myself.
that.
I do. I cherish being alone. And people are always calling me on the weekend and trying to get me to come out to this, that, or the other. And it's like, listen, I like people. I enjoy parties.
Yeah.
I like all that. But I like being by myself probably more than anything else. That's just how I am.
I'm very happy, too.
But it feels great to be judged by you, Padilla. Thank you.
I don't know what this comment refers to, but he also says, "I guess men were insecure for the past history of humans up to lately."
Oh, he thinks that the kind of marriage that he has is what people have had for thousands of years, which isn't the case at all. You go back and you can find multiple marriages. Men were allowed to have more than one wife.
Padilla, if you think what you have
is the representative of the entirety of human culture, it is not.
Yeah. That's a recent invention, Padilla.
We're getting a lot of comments also that says, hey, how about non-Chad husbands? Somebody make that trend happen.
Yeah, Padilla, why don't you stay home? Let your wife work.
Good morning, Buzz. Good morning, Nico. Good morning, Joanna.
Oh.
Joanna, if you marry me, you don't have to work or do anything. You just stay at home and watch Netflix. Have a great day. Love y'all. Bye.
That is the best marriage proposal I've ever gotten.
Now, as nice as that sounds, Joanna.
The best marriage proposal you ever got was, if you marry me, you can stay home and watch Netflix.
Yeah, sounds great to me.
But wait, Joanna, the problem I have with what he said is he assumes all you want to do is stay
that's a
home
good point.
and watch Netflix.
It sounds tempting to me. No, I get it.
To just assume
propose to me.
that, oh, you know what? I bet doing nothing and watching shows is what you would love to do. And I can do that for you.
Here's a question.
Joanna does way more than that. She's like constantly working and doing other stuff.
So with complete respect to the people, and I guess they're out there who have this relationship, this trad wife thing, I wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah, if that sounds like it is awesome for you. If
I
that's the
watch
thing.
all those videos where these women stay at home and they make their own goldfish
and
snacks.
sourdough bread.
They make their own breads and I'm all, that sounds amazing.
It
I wish
must
I had
be
time
nice.
to stay home and make bread.
But it does make me wonder, since Harrison Butker is the guy who brought all this up, I bet his wife has somebody who comes in and cleans up the house. I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't have a nanny. I bet she's got all kinds of interests. She's married to a multimillionaire.
Oh, yeah, she's not churning her own butter.
Right.
And like,
yeah, she's not darning socks underneath a candlelight or something.
She's knitting for her man. Yeah, I'm sure she has a very, like, if my husband was making that much
She's
money.
probably got a great life. She probably is
I would
not
stay home.
what you picture just being at home. But the way people are taking it,
I bet
she's probably in a very privileged position.
I bet Padilla watched Handmaid's Tale and was like, yeah, that looks about right.
Right. And thought Joseph Fiennes was the hero.
Yeah.
They're like, I wonder if Padilla lets his wife eat with him or she has to wait until he's done.
I wonder if she gets to sit at the table with him.
Okay. Look, I'm not making. I go all in. Be Amish. Get rid of your car.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, we have an actual trad wife in the app chat that says, her name is Trey. She says, I'm considered a trad wife. I have 3 kids, 6 and under, and have been home with them for the past 6 years.
Awesome.
I had my first at 21, so I never finished my degree, and I am so ready to get back at school and work. It's incredibly hard to live off of one income.
Yep.
The biggest thing for me is what happens if something happens to my husband or my marriage. I would be screwed. For me, a degree and a career is basically a way to cover my ass. Many women are taking a huge risk by allowing their husband to be the provider.
What a good point. What an amazing point.
And this is
incredible points, I think.
Because that's so true. For years, women were so dependent on their husbands that if they ever left, their whole identity had been created basically by having a husband.
How many trad wives do you think also do that creepy thing? What's it called? Oh, yeah, homeschooling.
Oh, my God.
I don't
that
think
sounds crazy, right?
Yeah, shut up, guys. Homeschooling's fine. I have friends
No,
who
yeah,
homeschool their...
it sounds great. Like, but can you imagine? Like, you still got to homeschool these kids.
Yeah, I know. Hey, look, after the pandemic...
Homeschooling always strikes me as these kids dominate, like, in geography quizzes and spelling bees and stuff like that. But
At one point, my sister considered, like, should we just homeschool the boys? And I'm all, I'm not a teacher.
Wait, did she look at you as if, like, you're going to help,
you're
right?
You're going to help. And I'm all, what am I going to teach them? Sarcastic comments?
But in
radio broadcasting?
In the back of my mind, I always think, like, the science portion of it, when it gets to evolution... They're like, the world is only 6,000 years old and dinosaurs are a trick by Satan.
All right. No. You are conflating the modern homeschool movement. That's fine.
There's a whole intro on Mean Girls about homeschooling.
I have several friends who homeschool their kids, and they are not religious in the least bit. It's a completely.
All right, then that is my bias. Is that I feel like the only reason you school your kids at home is because you're going to teach them something that's so out of whack with where culture is.
Are you kidding? After the pandemic, you don't think parents just got into the groove of having to homeschool their kids?
Oh, this is not ideal.
I told my sister that.
Especially if you're forced into, if you're doing.
I told my sister, I'm like, the only reason you think it's a good idea is because they were here at school, but you forget they had a teacher on the other end of that computer. I'm not a teacher.
Can I bring up this girl dads thing?
Yep, go ahead.
Oh yes, go for it.
Okay.
Oh my God, wait. Do you want to hear Padilla's response?
I don't know.
Nah.
He goes, my wife does eat with me, but she serves me first.
I mean, that's not the worst thing. I mean,
but thank you for the response.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You know what? What I noticed was my mom was more traditional than women my own age. My grandmother was even more so. My grandmother, I don't even think she ever sat down during dinner.
She was like that mom in A Christmas Story.
Yes, like she can't get a bite of food. That was my grandma. You know, she was just hovering, making sure everybody had what they wanted.
Really?
And I never heard my grandfather say thank you one single time. I don't think I heard him speak more than 5 or 6 words to her the entire time I knew both of them, for that matter. You know, the good old days. All right, lay it on me.
All right, so there is a TikTok, a pair of girl dads who have girls for kids, asked for advice about which restroom to take their daughters into when they were at Disney World. Can you pop me up real quick?
Okay.
All right, so 2 girl dads in Disney. We're in Disney World right now. It's the restroom. As a girl dad, I bring my daughter into the men's room, of course, into a stall to use the bathroom. My brother brings his daughter into the female restroom, the women's restroom. Yeah. We don't know which is the right way to do it or how women feel. I just don't feel comfortable going into a women's bathroom.
I prefer to bring them into a female bathroom, and it's clean. It's more clean than guy bathrooms.
So as a girl dad, what is the right way, or which bathroom is the right bathroom to bring your daughter into as a father?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right. And you know what's okay? I do have a weirdly vivid memory of my mom taking me to the
women's room,
into the women's restroom when I was younger. Yeah,
but like what, 5?
Yeah, I was like 5 or 6.
That needs to.
Yeah, what do little girls do when they're with their dads?
But what do girl dads do?
You take them to the men's room.
This other guy said, no, that sounds gross. The women's bathrooms are probably cleaner.
Well, I'm not going to go in the women's bathroom. I'm a guy.
Joanna, do you?
Some places have family restrooms.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Okay, but like,
but if you're in a pinch, like sometimes those family restrooms are like on the other side.
First of all, we are talking about like little children under the age of 6.
Yes, where they couldn't go to the bathroom by themselves.
I can tell you what I did. Anytime in a position like that where it was one or the other, and I would take my daughter in the restroom with me. And when she got old enough, she told me she wanted to go to the women's room. And I just always told her, I said, look, if there's any problem in there, ask one of the ladies in there to help you. I know you're not supposed to talk to strangers, but this was like a transitional period for her. So it never occurred to me once to invade a women's restroom because I had my young daughter.
Well, you're thinking of it as an invasion, but lots of women have.
First of all, you got to recruit somebody to stand by the door so no women come in while you're in there.
No, lots of women have weighed in to say that they'd be absolutely fine with a dad coming into the women's bathroom as long as he makes himself known.
Dad coming in with a little girl.
Just yell.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
A little girl here.
Yeah, girl dad coming in.
Oh, yeah. I would be totally okay with that.
There's a reason they have those fold-out diaper changers in both the men's room and the women's room. Because sometimes the dad's got the baby.
I do remember one time a friend of mine had just had his babies, and he was like, they really need to start putting these baby changing tables in the men's room. I guess where he went, they didn't really have them.
I think I'm like at the airport. I'm thinking airport.
For a while, there, I guess the men's room didn't have any.
So
they've had them for a long time.
Joanna, do you remember having to do this with your dad at all? Like,
no, it was always my mom.
Always your mom?
Yeah.
So, but you said you'd be fine, like if a guy,
if a guy like
dad, girl, dad, incoming.
Right? Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Boy, that never even crossed my mind to do that. It was just easier enough, and then
I would be weirded out. I would be weirded out bringing my daughter into the men's restroom.
Well, basically, she's young enough that I'm, pretty much carrying her, and then you get in a stall, and they do their stuff, and it's
I don't know. I would just feel weird.
You'd feel weirder taking your toddler daughter to the men's room.
Yes,
than you
to be
would
around a
going
bunch
in.
of dudes. Yeah.
Nobody makes a big deal out of it.
It just seems weird to me.
Do you want to hear from live?
Yeah, I want to hear from the girl dads.
Here's Roll. Hi, Roll.
Hey.
Are you a girl dad?
Yes, I am. She's 8. And to be honest, our biggest thing, because my wife and I, when we go to restaurants or anywhere public, we look for, are there any exits near the restroom? If there's any exits, our biggest fear is that she's going to get snatched up and taken, all that stuff.
Oh.
All the normal parenting things.
Yeah.
So with having said that, she's 8 right now. If there aren't any emergency exits near the restroom, she is free to go. As long as one of us has a line of sight to the restroom, she can go into the women's. If there isn't, if it's big and crowded, then I generally take her into the men's room or whoever my daughter picks. Sometimes she wants mom, sometimes she wants me, so it's kind of up to her. But I have taken her myself into the men's room, and I definitely try to usher her away from the urinals and try to put myself between her and the urinals.
Yeah, I should have pointed that out. It's one of those little details, but it's true. You kind of keep them, in case a guy turns around so she's not seeing his junk hanging out. You kind of, it's a dad instinct, I guess, or a parental instinct. So you do the same
definitely one of the things that I try to have her do is sit off to the side of the toilet, not necessarily like towards the front. I guess what normally happens, because obviously she's smaller than most toilets.
You don't want her falling in.
But and this it's just exactly. But one of the, a thing just for a PSA for all guys: stop being jerks. Try to aim for the love of God.
Oh, you're making it hard for other people.
We don't need all that other stuff everywhere else. Please just try and be clean. Be mindful of other people, not just you. Don't be jerks.
If I remembered, it's been a decade almost. When my daughter was 8, she could go to the bathroom by herself. If I was uncomfortable with the layout or it was super crowded or anything, I would wait outside the door for her. I would go to the restroom with her, and she would go in the women's room. But most places, I found she was pretty fine going by herself by that age.
Yeah, and that's something that I do as well. Sometimes if I know that the restaurant isn't very busy or anything like that, I'll let her go and I'll just wait outside.
Yep. Okay, thanks, Roll.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yep.
Appreciate the call.
No problem. Quick thing on the TrideWise. I called in, left a thing. The main thing I think that we're definitely missing on the TrideWise thing is the idea of choice.
Right.
If you don't want to be a trad wife.
If you want to be it, by all means. But it definitely seemed like the kicker was saying no, this is your, as a woman, you will only serve your purpose if you are a baby maker and a mother, and that's it, and nothing else. And the point that I was making on the Neckline call was that's a conservative value, and that's why they continue to want to police everybody else with religion and all these other things, and wanting to impose those beliefs onto everybody else. Where last I checked, we were supposed to be a free nation where we could make our own choices.
Wow. I want to give you a round of applause for that one, Raul. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. We got another girl dad here.
Hey, girl dads. Colin.
It's Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hey, Buzz.
Hey.
Hey, I'm a girl dad, and last Friday, I took my daughter. She's 8 years old. I took her to Kohl's because she wanted to buy something, and she had to go to the bathroom. So I'm waiting outside the women's bathroom for her, and I hear her start screaming.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
That's your nightmare.
Worst nightmare,
What are you going to do there?
So I'm like, oh, what the heck? So I like cracked the door. I, called
her name, yeah.
She says, Dad, there's no toilet paper. So I'm like, okay.
That's what she screamed.
So I'm like, what do I do? And then I just said, you know what? I'm coming in. If there's anybody in here, I'm coming in. I go in. She's the only one in there.
Well, but wait a minute, Tom. You didn't have toilet paper. What were you going in there for?
I was going to go to one of the other stalls.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Every single stall was out of toilet paper.
I expect more from Kohl's.
Yeah.
They should at least, when they run out of toilet paper, have some leftover Kohl's cash coupons.
So I run to the men's bathroom. I grab a roll of toilet paper. I take it in there, and as I'm giving it to her, two women walk in.
Nightmare.
And I'm like, I'm just telling you, there's no toilet paper. I'm giving it to my daughter.
Giving my daughter the toilet paper. Ladies, I'm sorry. I'll make a TP run for you if you want me to.
Yeah, that's exactly what I told them. I go, do you want me to get you some? And they're just like, oh, my God, thank you. But, you got to do what you got to do.
I'm so glad to hear from you and the last caller, because some of this is like dad instinct. You just, it's a difficult position. You figure out a way to do it. And, I'm glad to hear from both of you guys today.
Yeah, seriously.
Right. Anyway, love the show.
Thanks,
Thank
Tom.
you.
Thanks, man. This is so different than being a dog dad. As a dog dad, I don't have to worry about which bathroom to take Jack into.
I'm not letting you call yourself or anybody else a dog.
I am a dog dad.
I'm not letting you. That's
he's my son. He looks at me so happy every time.
That's out of bounds.
He pees in the yard.
Mm-hmm. You're going to take him to the new dog bar?
I am. Mutt's Cantina.
Can you tell me about it?
As much as you can.
Well, let's take a break. Oh, I guess we have one more call. One more call from a girl dad. Then we'll tell you about Mutt's Canine Cantina, which I think is also a human cantina.
Joanna, I was trying to tell Buzz, wow, this is so different than being a dog dad.
Did he get mad?
That's not a thing.
He's a papa.
They get to pee wherever.
Hydrants.
Here is Henry, I guess also a girl dad. Hi, Henry.
Hey,
how you doing, guys? So I'm a girl dad 3 times. I've got 3 daughters.
Whoa.
They're all grown now, but we had some. I was lucky because the last 2 were like 2 years apart. So the older one would always chaperone and shepherd the little one.
Sure, yeah.
So that was easy pretty much. But if we were in a place that was sort of sketch or whatever, I would poke my head in the door first and just check it out. And if ladies were in there, I would tell them, hey, I got 2 little girls coming in.
Okay.
Checking it out. And then I never had a problem.
Nobody ever objected to that.
No, they never did, because I did it with tact and with, manners.
Yeah,
and I didn't just, barge in.
You acted like a normal person.
Yes, I tried to act like a semi-normal person.
Which is different than Buzz Henry, because Buzz would be too embarrassed to even put his head into the women's bathroom.
You got to do that, Buzz. When you got kids, especially girls, they're so fragile. You have to step up. It's not about you. It's about the kids. And you have to show that you're protective of them. And that it helps cement your bond as a father to your daughters. I think, because now my kids are normal, well-adjusted, kids.
Oh, that's awesome, Henry.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, that's it. I'll keep it short.
All right, thanks, Henry.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I love the show.
Appreciate
you guys.
Awesome.
I love the show.
Oh, appreciate that, man.
Henry.
Seriously.
Okay. No, that's very nice.
Yeah, that is super nice. I'm glad we got to go through this topic.
We do need a break, however, and when we come back, Nico Jimmy is next with news headlines.
Biden and Trump have agreed to 2 debates. I'll have the details on those next in news.
Hey, it's Chuck, your host for Loudwire Nights. Tonight at 7, we will rock the borderland with the best rock ever made and the best rock being made. Special guests, birthday and anniversary celebrations, and every night at 10...
Never been a better time to use car. See you at Viva Mitsubishi.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
Hey, we're going to need to get started on the news.
Yes.
And we're going to have to take another break here before the top of the hour. So it's probably like the sooner we get into it.
Buzz's time management skills.
Hey, it's hard to break.
We have.
Get
It's
so
been
many interesting calls, and people are really we're having some good communication
Absolutely.
today. And I just hate to break for commercials, but you got to. Why don't you get us caught up on a few news stories though before we have to break?
Sure.
Actually, wrap up this segment. God, probably in about 6 minutes, and talk about the debates last.
Okay. I mean, we agreed on this right before we went back on air.
Yeah, we're not going to get all the news in this one break.
No, not at all.
Joanna is so mad at you for running late.
What are you talking about? Oh my God. A pro-Palestinian protest on the campus of the University of California, Irvine hit a boiling point yesterday. The group of several hundred protesters surrounded a lecture hall and entered the building, prompting school officials to call the police. The Irvine Police Department and the Orange County Sheriff's Department responded to the scene and started making arrests. The authorities tore down barricades, began dismantling the encampment in a campus parking lot, and escorted an unknown number of protesters away in zip-tie hand restraints. In an update on X, UC Irvine announced that classes were canceled for the rest of the day yesterday and urged anyone currently in buildings in the vicinity of the protests are advised to exit and leave the area to evacuate until further notice, instructing people on campus to disregard all previous orders to shelter in place. The pro-Palestinian protesters have been on campus at UC Irvine since April 29th. Here's Fox 11 Los Angeles talking with some of the protesters as they were being taken away.
When free speech is under attack, it's the God-given constitutional duty of every American to stand up and say, no, that's why we have a Constitution, that's why we have a Bill of Rights.
He was one of the protesters?
I guess so.
All right.
What's being called an attempted assassination attempt on Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico yesterday has left the 59-year-old official in the hospital in life-threatening condition. Fico underwent over 3 hours of surgery after being shot in the abdomen 5 times by a still unidentified attacker. Few details were released about the shooter, who was immediately swarmed by police and arrested. Other than that, the initial investigation suggests that there was a clear political motivation in the shooting.
This was Slovenia or Slovakia?
Slovakia.
Okay, so the Prime Minister of Slovakia, I think he is pretty heavily anti-immigration. He's anti-LGBTQ, but he's a big fan of Putin. That's what I know about the Prime Minister from Slovakia.
Yes.
But they're not saying much about the guy who shot him.
No, we still don't know. Congress gave its approval to a $100 billion bill yesterday that looks to increase the number of air traffic controllers, add more safety inspectors at aircraft factories, and force airlines to automatically refund fares to passengers whose flights are canceled or delayed for several hours. The Senate passed the bill last week, and the House voted yesterday to send it to President Joe Biden's desk. The measure would also ban airlines from charging fees to let families sit together. Airlines are suing the Biden administration to block a new transportation Department rule on automatic refunds. And if signed into law, the new legislation could help the administration's legal case. And finally.
Wait, finally?
Well,
for this segment, right? Okay.
With a turn of speed that no one expected, 2 presidential debates were proposed and set yesterday. Early yesterday morning, President Joe Biden posted a video to X challenging former President Donald Trump to 2 debates and took the opportunity to make a dig at Trump's ongoing criminal hush money trial in New York City. In the video, Biden tells Trump to pick the dates and adds, "I understand you're free on Wednesdays." That's the only day Trump's trial isn't in session. Just a few hours later, Trump accepted the challenge, saying his campaign agreed to 4 debates. The Biden campaign struck back at that and said the president, would only do 2. That wasn't the only stipulation on the debates put into place by Biden, however. The debates will be organized by CNN and ABC News, with CNN debate set for June 27th and the ABC News debate on September 10th. Also, there will be no audience allowed at either debate, with the two candidates squaring off in a TV studio. The Biden campaign also said that all debates should be just between Trump and Biden, excluding Robert F. Kennedy from participating.
What do you think about that?
Awesome. I mean, what are you talking about? The Biden
he can't legitimately be elected president.
No.
But it would be good to see how a guy with brainworms would do against Biden and Trump.
The Biden campaign also suggested that each candidate's microphone should only be on when it's their turn to talk. I have said this before.
You're going to hear Trump in the back like, they're trying to silence me.
Fake news. I have said this.
They do. They turn my microphone off.
That's what's going to happen.
I have totally said this before. I thought that would be the only way to have them debate each other is you just turn that microphone off and don't let them talk over each other.
It doesn't go far enough. They need to have like the cone of silence from Get Smart. They just close it like a big glass container, so that's all you hear. No sound is
pounding.
I'm being silenced.
And with the first part of news, I'm Nico.
Coming soon, the debate you've been waiting for. On one side, former President Donald Trump.
No topic is off limits, except for my Stormy Daniels trial.
On the other side, President Biden.
That's right. Nothing's off limits, except for the economy and inflation, man. I don't want to talk about it.
Two candidates going head to head.
I'll answer any question, except for any question about my fraud trial. Bigly off limits.
I'll talk about anything, except Hunter. He's a good boy. He's done nothing wrong. He doesn't have a laptop or anything.
The debate between Trump and Biden.
I don't want to talk about anything that has to do with me.
And I don't want to talk about my age and oh, hell, you know the thing.
Don't miss it.
Music news, concert updates, song and album factoids, and of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
Not available in every station. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a town square media station.
Okay, let's hit it.
All right, we're going to get back into some more news headlines with Nico Adjibian, but we did mention Mutt's Canine Cantina, which is having their grand opening on Saturday. Woo! Nico is going to be there, too, and he's going to have Chihuahuas tickets to give away.
And maybe some Chihuahuas.
So stop by. Nico will be dressed as a human-sized fire hydrant. So we're just working on getting that costume ready.
You're just taking the piss out of me, right?
Mutt's Cantina, Canine Cantina, is encouraging buying memberships so you and your dog can enjoy the full benefits of the facility. There's also a day fee option for non-members. Food, drink, and furry fun. I've seen it. Right off next to the indoor skydiving place on the west side.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by Topgolf and all that.
Yeah, by Topgolf and all that. So the actual street address of Mutt's Canine Cantina is 460 Vin Rambla, just north of Topgolf. It looks like you can also go in and get a drink for yourself as a human, right?
Yeah, I hope.
I thought maybe you knew a little more than I did about this.
They have drinks and food, I believe.
For people?
For people. And they have a play area for dogs.
Yes.
But foods and drink for them, too?
Yes.
How is everybody's dog so well behaved at these places? I mean, even just like at a dog park, how do you know your dog's not going to...
Well, you should know your dog's temperament before you go, what I'm told.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because they can be off-leash. So...
All right.
Don't bring Cujo with you.
It wasn't Cujo's fault. He got bit by a Batman.
Did he really?
He didn't get bit by Batman, but he got bit by
Batman.
That's how he got
the ferocious rabies.
Anyway, Nico's going to be there between noon and 2 at Mutt's Canine Cantina on the west side this Saturday.
You know the best part about this remote is my mom had already told me 3 weeks ago, hey, I got a membership to the Mutt's Cantina. Do you want to go on the opening day? And we already had plans to go this Saturday.
And you can go and get paid for it.
I know. And then Kevin's like, do you want to do the remote there? I was like, I'll be there anyways. I might as well do the remote.
Here's a call I got.
Hey, good morning, you guys. Buzz, Nico, Joanna. Have you guys heard of that new roast? And I'm not talking about the Comedy Central roast. I'm talking about the Town Square Media Roast. I was listening to ESPN Sports Talk podcast, and Steve was roasting Alberto. Holy, I'm not going to cuss, but excuse me. He was roasting him hard, you guys. Both days, on Monday and Tuesday. Anyways, have a good one, guys.
Oh, I didn't get to listen. Remember at lunch, Steve was telling us that the day before on Sports Talk, like, Alberto was just hilarious.
They were asking him about his Tinder dates and that he got mad at one person he matched with because she wanted to go to Cafe Central for the first date.
She wanted to go to like an expensive place, and he was like, hell no.
We can go to Cane's, Raising
Cane's. They were
Cane's.
also like making fun of his car because his car doesn't honk right now. Alberto says the funniest stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's completely disjointed and weird and crazy.
But Steve was telling us to mention that he was roasting him.
He said that he was telling us that Alberto says his car sometimes shakes when it gets to a certain speed, and he's worried that if he takes a girl, so he always has a meet wherever they're going to meet because he doesn't want the car shaking while his date's in there.
But it also doesn't honk. It doesn't have a horn.
It doesn't have a horn. We'll have to get Alberto.
So he's just going around
Yeah.
like yelling, honk.
Does he really? Is that what he was saying?
Honk!
He just goes, honk, honk. That's ridiculous.
All right, Nico, what else in the news?
So much. Oh, you want me to do? Okay, yeah. So much in the news. Elections in Louisiana will look different this November after the Supreme Court said yesterday that it'll allow the state to use a congressional map that includes a second black majority district. The court granted requests from a group of black voters and civil rights groups, and also the state of Louisiana, to put a hold on a federal district court panel that blocked the state from using the newly redrawn map. The original map, drawn by the Louisiana legislature, was rejected by federal courts for likely violating Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act / racism. And another boat has hit yet another bridge. A barge collided with the Pelican Island Causeway in Galveston, Texas yesterday, damaging the bridge, causing an oil spill, and closing the only road in and out of Pelican Island.
Did the bridge just immediately crumble like it was made out of popsicle sticks like that one in Baltimore did?
I don't believe so necessarily.
Can you believe that?
The Baltimore,
just how it crumpled.
Yeah, it was this massive barge that just crashed right through a bridge.
Oh, now I know why the expression barge in.
Yeah.
You just got to barge right in.
Joanna, do not give him that. Do not give it to him, Joanna.
What? I was in the middle of drinking my coffee.
Pelican Island is home to Texas A&M University at Galveston. The bridge will remain closed until it's determined if it's safe to be used, and a salvage company will assist in removing the barge from the area. There were no reported injuries in the incident. And another mainstay of the Las Vegas Strip is going to go away. The Mirage Hotel Casino will officially close on July 17th.
That's one of the old ones, man.
And then
it's one of the old ones on the new Strip.
The Mirage, right?
Yeah. It's been around for a long time.
Well, it's going to close, but then reopen in 2027 as the Hard Rock Las Vegas, which will feature an almost 700-foot-tall guitar standing above the Strip. It's the second time this year that an iconic casino has closed, with the Tropicana Las Vegas closing last month after 67 years. The Mirage opened for business in 1989. And you're now free to cough around the state, almost. The North Carolina State Senate voted along party lines yesterday to ban anyone from wearing face masks in public. What? You're not allowed to wear a face mask?
You're banned from wearing a face mask.
Republican supporters say it would help law enforcement identify protesters who wear masks for purportedly health-related reasons, and the new bill specifically repeals the exception to state law that allows people to wear masks in public for health and safety reasons. That means cancer patients won't be protected anymore. The state house has already voted to approve the bill, so it now goes to Governor Roy Cooper's desk. If the Democratic governor doesn't sign it, a veto would most likely be overturned by the Republican supermajority in the legislature. The state first passed a public masking ban in the 1950s in an attempt to cut down on Ku Klux Klan membership. Nothing for that?
What if you're like a 90-year-old person with a compromised immune system and you want to go to the grocery store, but you don't want to catch any cooties?
Nope.
You can't wear the mask?
Nope. You could be a protester.
Take it off.
I guess they're saying that they've seen protesters, and maybe from this recent pro-Palestinian and pro. Anyways,
the counter-protesters.
Have they been wearing masks?
A lot of them that I've seen
like the face
images
mask?
of, yeah, like medical face mask. And I saw him interviewing and asking him, why are you wearing the face mask? And one guy was just, so they don't recognize me. I don't want to get in trouble, for taking part in this protest.
Interesting.
He didn't say he was doing anything illegal, but,
he just didn't want to be recognized.
He didn't want to be recognized.
Do you have a problem with that?
If you're breaking the law and wearing a mask,
you should be recognizable.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what if you walked into a bank wearing a ski mask? What are people supposed to think then?
Right.
It doesn't bother me. Sometimes I see people wearing masks to this day.
Have you noticed when the people it really bothers? Like, imagine Republicans, like just the sight of somebody wearing a face mask. And they
how many people are like that?
Or they'll be like, you don't have to wear that.
You don't have to wear that anymore.
Yeah, but then what if they're like, oh, you know what? I'm going through chemotherapy and my immune system's...
Well,
someone told my mom, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. And she was like, how about you mind your own business?
Ooh, there you go.
Right?
Oh, I wear it to mask my contempt for you.
Overdose deaths are down for the first time. The number of overdose deaths is down for the first time in 5 years. New preliminary data from the CDC's National Center for Health Statistics show about 107,000 people died from drug overdoses last year. Now, that sounds like a lot, but that's 3,500 less than in 2022. Despite the dropped overdose deaths in 2023, we're still almost double the number from 5 years ago. Synthetic opioids like fentanyl were involved in 70% of overdose deaths. 4 states, Indiana, Kansas, Nebraska, and Maine, all saw declines in overdose deaths of at least 15%. And magician David Copperfield is facing sexual misconduct accusations. The Guardian published a story that says 16 women, some underage, are accusing Copperfield of being inappropriate. 3 of the women claimed Copperfield groped them on stage during live performances.
Says sleight of hand.
The article says the alleged...
If I'm being honest, the most surprising thing is that it was women that David Copperfield was.
That's actually a good point. The article says that the alleged incidents happened between the 80s and 2014. Now, through his lawyers, the illusionist says he never, ever acted inappropriately with anyone, let alone anyone underage.
Do you remember before George H.W. Bush passed away, there was a minor scandal? Some people were complaining that they were posing with the extremely elderly President Bush and that he was grabbing women. You don't remember reports of that? It was like...
But wasn't it because he was like... Well, this is recently, but right before he died?
This was right before he died, so he
weren't they saying 90s. He was like inappropriately touching his nurses or his...
He posed with one of the stars from Turn, Washington Spies, and she said that he grabbed a handful of her backside. And anyway...
it couldn't just be like old man things, like accidental...
I don't know. Is there a condition like when you start to lose your faculties?
Actually, yes.
That's a thing? That's what I thought was probably
I think they explained it
the reason
that way too.
That it came to mind was because he would make a joke out of it, And Barbara would roll her eyes, and but his joke was, and I'm going to do it in my best George H.W. Well, actually, Dana Carvey doing George. You know who my favorite magician is? David Copperfield. That was how he would make light of the situation. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, at that point, have you lost the part of your brain?
Or were you premeditating this?
Well, it seems weird that you would wait until you're in your 90s as a former president to start groping people. Right, it had to have something to do with his
the dementia,
or whatever.
It does. Forecasters are predicting flash flooding from East Texas to Mississippi for the rest of the week. The Weather Prediction Center says another 6 inches of additional rainfall is expected in the saturated South, where recent downpours have caused rivers to overflow their banks in Texas and Louisiana. Forecasters say the worst flood threat will be today, when more heavy rain will occur north of Houston, across central Louisiana, and into western Mississippi. Officials in Texas are still assessing the damage from recent floods that damaged hundreds of homes and killed at least 3 people.
Got a caller here who has a pretty strong opinion on people who wear masks.
Okay.
You want to hear that?
Yeah.
If you're wearing a mask at a protest, you're a coward.
Yeah.
I mean, you're at a protest and you're so, you got your hackles raised up so much that you want to go out and protest. You should be proud of what you're protesting.
I guess we're talking about the January 6th insurrectionist here.
Well, no, I kind of agree with.
A lot of them were wearing masks.
I kind of agree with this because recently I saw
you're doing something you're not proud of.
Essentially, I saw a group of neo-Nazis protesting, and they
had masks.
They were all masked up, and it's like, you cowards, you just don't want. I kind of feel the same way.
We should want to be, the counted, stand up and be counted. But wearing a mask to hide. That means you've got some kind of other agenda and you've got alternative reasons.
Well, I would like you to take that up with Batman, sir.
For being at that protest. You just might be a paid protester, or you just might like to hope some trouble's going to jump off.
I would be interested in the caller. And if you want to call back and leave a message, do you also feel that way about the people that were rioting at the Capitol on January 6th?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you'd have to believe that they were cowards to be consistent.
Absolutely.
So you could do some looting or whatever. So I'm against protesters wearing masks. Unless it's a gas mask and you're going to get, sprayed or whatever. But yeah, okay, that's my 2 cents. Bye.
Wait a minute, unless it's a gas mask, because you're worried you're going to get sprayed, that's okay. You kind of agree with the caller, huh?
Yes, I do. Because, like I said, I saw those neo-Nazis protesting, and some guy was outraged as well. He was saying, shouting at them, "Take your mask off. Come on, let's see who you are."
Yeah. Aren't you proud of what you're saying out here?
You're a white
nationalist. You don't believe in what you're standing up for? Show your face.
If you're so proud of what you believe in, if you are pro-Palestine, why wouldn't you want people to know you're pro-Palestine?
I don't know. If anybody else has an alternative explanation, let me hear it.
Well, finally, New Yorkers have had enough of crime. Yesterday, a woman and a man were walking in Queens with their puppy.
I hope the puppy didn't get Steve Buscemi.
The man was beside her on a scooter when a would-be attacker snuck up behind both of them. The attacker jumped on the man on the scooter, and that's when the woman pounced on the suspect. And he ended up with stab wounds before bystanders could stop the tussle.
She stabbed the attacker?
She stabbed the attacker.
Does it say what she used?
Something sharp?
I know. Did she just carry a blade with her?
I don't know.
Let's see.
No charges.
Joanna's going to try and track this down.
No charges have been filed, but police are looking for 2 suspects. So now the people that were going to get jumped are the ones being looked for because they fought back.
Wait. The victims who fought back, police are trying to find them.
Yeah, because they stabbed him.
Did they find the guy who got stabbed?
Yes.
Oh, snap. up.
Did you see the video of the guy who takes a belt and throws it around this lady's
I was trying to tell you about this the other day. I hadn't
seen it, and then I saw it
Isn't
yesterday.
the video ridiculous?
Yeah, so he was dragging her, and then he was going to sexually assault her, and it was in broad daylight. Broad freaking daylight.
I think he raped her.
And Steve Buscemi got punched out of the blue.
Did you see the photo of the guy who punched Steve Buscemi? They finally have him. Yeah, what's going on in New York?
Why would you punch Steve Buscemi? I mean, it's going to ruin his chance of being the next James Bond. Oh, that was just an idea I had that Steve Buscemi should be the next James Bond. This has been and is National Salad Month.
What kind? Tossed?
All kinds of salad.
You enjoy tossed salad?
I enjoy all kinds of salad. Chef salad, caprese salad. We sent our man with the microphone out on the streets to interview people about National Salad Month. It's John Melliker.
How are you?
Thank you.
Great. It's National Salad Month. Is it healthy to get a tossed salad?
Depending on what's in it.
Do you like tossed salad?
Love it.
Do you add vegetables like corn to your tossed salad?
Yes.
What would a great slogan be? Something like, you can't lick a tossed salad.
Okay. That sounds good.
Thank you for...
Find out what's going on. Quirky facts about our region. Urgent things you need.
New material, and more years until there would be a possibility of seeing the group back together.
Yeah, I don't have that answer. I didn't think it would be happening right now, but here we are. I'm just keeping an open mind because now that we're doing these, I guarantee you Europe's going to come to the party and say, hey, can we have a couple? So depending when that is, next year, 2 years, 3 years from now, I don't know, whenever the right offer comes in and I'm not tied down with my band because right now my band comes first.
Okay, and that is Kerry King, and the album is From Hell I Rise. I played Idle Hands. I've listened to Residue. Does the rest of the album kick as much ass as those two songs do?
Absolutely, dude, and more.
Okay.
Well, I'm not giving you my money shot right away.
Yeah. Oh, so I ain't heard nothing yet is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well,
it's all going to be out Friday.
Kerry, thank you. Look for that album. Also, if you're in El Paso, look for Kerry King and his band performing that big Lamb of God Mastodon. I consider it a Kerry King show, though, at the El Paso County Coliseum, August 25th. Thank you, Kerry. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. All right, so we found out that he does play Slayer songs, but only ones that he wrote or co-wrote.
Sounds understandable.
It doesn't sound like Slayer's never getting back together. I mean, it sounds like it's kind of a matter of time type of deal. Let me get a call real quick. Here, I got to turn that down a little bit so I can take this call.
Hey, good morning show. I was listening to I'm still listening to the Kerry King interview, but I just wanted to say one of the things that came to mind straight away is the memes, the tropes that they always pit Slayer fans against Metallica fans. Mainly because Metallica fans always say that Metallica songs all lately after the Black Album, they all sound the same, like a heavy blues song. But then it's mostly just like these other fans of these other big four thrash metal bands that they don't see. They have no, they don't really realize that there's another three fingers pointing backwards when they're pointing the finger at Metallica. I'm a big Metallica fan, as you could probably tell. But Slayer or anything that else Kerry King does is basically the same thing. It's like hitting a galloping rhythm on an open E string, like like come on, dude. Like, oh, that's original. I'd rather hear a blues song than for like 5-6 minutes. And I'm pretty sure, I was really excited. Kerry King, I love Slayer, but after I could only listen to it at 15 minutes at a time. 3 songs at a time, 4 songs at a time,
Okay.
I can't do a full hour of just Slayer.
because it gets boring, it gets tedious, man. You know, like that. And I'm pretty sure metal fans that listen to the show are probably all moist because you got to speak with Kerry King. So yeah, I woke up choosing violence against Slayer fans today.
You did.
I'm at you guys later.
And it's only 7 a.m., sir.
I'm down for it.
We don't need to turn this into a whole Drake Kendrick Lamar thing here. Slayer fans and Metallica fans can coexist.
Yes.
Get along, singing Kumbaya.
I wonder if the big four, like the big four metal bands.
Do you remember them? Because you didn't get them last
I always
time.
mess them up. So I know it's definitely Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer, and God, I always get
God,
the
why
fourth.
do I always forget that fourth one too?
Is it Maiden or is
No,
it?
it's not
Yeah,
Maiden.
it's not Maiden. Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, and plus one. Have they ever all been done one show together?
Anthrax.
Yeah.
I always forget
Anthrax too. Have they ever done a show where it's like, hey, here, all four of these bands are going to play on the
That
same
would be
day
amazing.
at the same place? Joanna, will you look that up for me?
Right.
Find out?
Okay.
Okay. And we're going to have Hollywood Cheese May when we come back here in just a few minutes.
Woo!
Anthrax, Committed to Memory.
Yes,
Anthrax is
Anthrax.
the fourth of the big four. Anthrax.
Ian Scott. Scott Ian.
Let's,
Oh, yeah, they have. At the Sonosphere Festival at Bemowo Airport in Warsaw, Poland. The Big Four.
What year was that?
2010.
Oh, that must have been a sick show.
And it was just a one-time only at that one place? They
Oh,
didn't-
man, I got to read a whole article.
Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show, Glenn Garza and Daniel Paulus.
For GMC Sierra 2023 Buick Envision 5500 on GMC, we are professional grade. Costa Buick GMC, Montana at Airway.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
If you, real quick, if you enjoyed the interview with Kerry King, we'll have more Kerry King. He's going to be tonight's special guest on Loudwire Nights, talking about his solo music, appearing in El Paso later this summer, and doing some shows with Slayer and everything else that's going to happen this year. Kerry King will not hold back. So listen in. Special guest tonight, Kerry King from Slayer, on Loudwire Night, 7 to midnight, Monday through Friday on 95.5 KLAQ. Yes, Nico, were you bringing something up? Were you bringing emotion to the floor?
Was I?
I don't know. I thought you made a sound.
I was just laughing
At
you
for
just before just for the things you do.
What did he do?
He was playing The Simpsons, and I was like, "Was this the most recent Simpsons?" And
It
he
was
like,
the one on Sunday. It was
like Buzz is such a fan of The Simpsons to this day. Still,
It's still the sharpest satire.
It's infectious. Your enthusiasm.
So it was all about tipping The Simpsons on Sunday. And I am going back to my pre-pandemic tipping policies, which is basically if it's something that you got tipped for 20 years ago, I'll still tip.
Okay.
During the pandemic, and partially because we were so shamed by Lisa, you remember?
We were very shamed.
If you got a carry-out order to go, because that's what you did during the pandemic, you tip the person who hands your bag to you. Well, listen.
Well, they have to get the bag together and put your stuff in. It's like.
I mean, if I'm going to hand anybody money, it should be the person who made the food, right?
The chef. Yeah.
There are certainly things that I'm like, you're asking for a tip, dude who just weighed my froyo.
Yeah.
At the frozen yogurt place.
Those places have a tip.
You didn't
and
even
it's
serve my...
It's self-serve. You're the one.
You're just weighing it.
They bring all this up, and Homer gets so
froyo?
fed up. they go through a froyo thing, and he's upset, and he's like,
I'm serving myself.
He says, you didn't do anything, and the guy that's working this said, that iPad didn't swivel itself around. Because that is another part of what they do. They make it so you have to actively, right in front of the person, make the decision not to leave a tip by turning that thing around.
All right, Starbucks baristas.
Also, what happened to 15%? The lowest option is 18% now. Starbucks baristas?
Yeah, tip or no
buck.
tip? Buck.
A buck. At the drive-thru?
Yeah.
No. I don't tip the guy at the McDonald's drive-thru. I don't tip the guy at the Taco Cabana drive-thru. Nope.
Bud tenders.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I've never experienced it. Of course, I, don't know anything about that.
Yeah, whatever. So you say no?
Yeah, not 18% though.
I always give like the leftover dollar, like or two if I have.
Yeah, right.
And change. But like I go in, I know exactly what I want. Like I don't need all your help and your recommendations and your wisdom.
Yeah, I would say bud tenders deserve a tip. But
bartenders
do. Especially if you've been boring them with your stories or hitting on them all night long.
I'll
definitely tip.
All my bartenders get tipped very well.
So Homer loses it, and he accidentally ends up tipping somebody $10,000, which was a mistake. Because he wrote on it, $1, okay? And it came out looking like
10,000.
Right. So Homer moved to Little Europe, which is a neighborhood in Springfield, I guess, that's just like Europe. And you know what? What they don't do in Europe is tip.
Oh, yeah.
There might be some country in Europe, but the UK and France, they don't expect the customers to pay their employees because they pay their employees.
The businesses should.
Yeah. I'm not saying we're the only country that tips, but we'll listen to this from Simpsons.
Here in Euroland, extra money, not change hand. Eat the lunch from 12 to 3, know how you say gratuity. Waiters, cabbies, escort girl, just cost base rate, what a world. Europe king, and here is why, only pay for what you buy. Flat.
What the hell is going on The Simpsons?
Right? Okay, so anyway, Homer eventually has to go cold turkey, so he's made up his mind he's not going to tip anymore. He's not tipping. But
right.
Moe pressures him into tipping, and it gets very sexual. I just want you to guys notice that this is like the most sexual scene I've ever seen in a Simpsons episode.
Quit.
Hey, here's a thought, Homer. What if you took the moolah out of your pocket, but you just stopped before anything happened? You know, everything but the tip.
That doesn't seem like it could lead to anything.
Sure, it couldn't.
We shouldn't have done that.
Does that mean that you want to stop?
No. Oh, it feels so good.
Watch.
Don't stop, you generous man. Oh, yeah, give it to me, big boy.
You like that?
Oh, that's a spot.
I can do this all night.
Right there.
Tell me you want it.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Hell's going on
That was overtly sexual.
Just everything but the tip.
Everything but the tip.
That was a little hot.
That can't lead to anything bad.
Everyone else's face.
God, I relate to that bit so much.
So,
Derek in our app chat goes, I tipped at Menchie's once because I made a mess. That is worthy of a tip. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Bars, you tip the bartender. Haircuts, like I say,
Yes.
anything that you tipped for 20 years ago, I'm still going to tip for those things. But
I'm
like
not
the
gonna
self-serve
tip you,
and the
dude.
carry-out, and if you're working at a drive-thru, I'm sorry. Why would your restaurant be so much better than any other restaurant that you automatically assume you deserve a tip?
Would you tip a comedian if you saw him?
Yeah, I'd tell you to get in a different line of work.
Okay.
Didn't you say you got tipped once? And you were like, what?
Oh, no.
Was it you?
Tipping is like the norm at most shows at other places. Like, you pass the hat.
Oh, to pay for the comedian?
Oh, yeah, it's part of it.
Hey, just remember, if you don't tip them, they're still going to get minimum wage regardless. Even waitresses and waiters, they're getting paid, what, $2.15, $3.15, whatever it is.
That ain't minimum wage.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's I think the minimum wage for service industry is different than the minimum wage.
Right. It's built into the way we do it in the United States. They're expected. It's like, wait a minute, you can get away with underpaying your employee because you count on the customers to pick up the slack. Just include it in the bill, man. Why don't they just do that?
Yeah, right.
Well, if they don't make tips, the business has to make up the difference and pay them minimum wage regardless. Tip them, they're still going to get minimum wage.
Is that how it reads, the law? That if they don't make tips?
Oh, they're still going to make that $3 an hour.
Wait, but minimum wage is like $7.25 now.
Not for service workers.
Yeah, no, not for service workers. But he's saying that if they don't make it in tips, the business owner, the restaurant owner,
would pay the $3.
No, they have to make it up so they're getting at least what minimum wage is.
Oh, I don't understand that.
In some states, minimum wage is $15 an hour. I think California was going for $20.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. In service workers, I thought even if you're not getting tip, you still get the base hourly rate.
Okay. So let's say it's $2.15 for a server.
Right.
If we all stopped tipping, I think the caller's suggesting that the business owner or the boss
starts paying $7,
$7.25, whatever it is now.
Morning, Buzz. Hey, you brought up a good point about the tipping and stuff, and I just wanted to bring up a topic of discussion. So it's really come to my attention that I think people who have ever been in the shoes of the service industry or been there tip a little bit better than a lot of the people with money. Because I've come to the realization that some folks that are loaded, they barely tip or don't tip at all. I mean, hey, it's up for discussion. Me, if I sit down somewhere, I'm tipping $5, $10, $20. I think that's pretty good, man. But people look at me and they don't think I'm going to tip at all, and then I end up tipping that. Sometimes I tip more than that, but it's got to be special service, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not right or wrong. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, just a topic of discussion. Anyhow, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Well, it depends on how much your bill was. I mean, if you had 12 people in your party and the bill came out to $500, you got to tip more than $20, right? Because they were doing a whole lot more work. That's why it's a percentage of whatever the charge is.
Oh my God, Circle K asks for tips?
Just the tip.
I think they're all getting those things where they turn it around and it's like they give you an option for no tip, but you got to do it right in front of the person.
And they look you in the eye. Fern in the app chat says, I'm with Buzz on tipping. I walked into Circle K yesterday with my 2 grandsons and bought 2 ices, but I was prompted for a tip.
On the
all
ices.
they did was scan the product.
Right. What service was there?
What after there's not a human doing that, it's just all automated, are they going to want you to tip the machine? Probably.
Do you agree with this? Like, if you don't have the money to tip or you're not going to tip well, then you probably shouldn't go out to eat.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
I think we become so accustomed to just eating out all the time that we forget that eating out was like a special thing, and that having a server serve you your food like a king, that was unusual. That's why you tipped more.
I kind of think we should go the European route, which is you pay your employees, you give them benefits.
What if your sandwich comes out to like $30?
Well, would it be that much more than if with the
you're tipping too, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They still have to get the federal minimum wage, which is $7.25. So that $2.15 goes away. They have to make at least the $7 whatever with tips. And if they don't get tips, then the business, instead of paying them $2.15, they have to pay them the $7.25.
Okay, I think that was the caller explaining. Well, anyway, I'm going back to pre-pandemic tipping. So, like, I'm going to get a haircut later today. that person's going to get, I don't know, 20%.
What? So like $2? You know, you only pay for a $10 haircut.
No. I don't pay a lot. I do not pay a lot for a haircut, but it's always a percentage.
Let's look. Can't you see? Our healthcare is free, and they pay us enough. That's money to just hand you your stuff.
In Europe, servers are paid a living wage instead of having to rely on tips, which also reduces income disparity between front and back of house staff. It's mad sexy, equitable!
Was that fun? Yeah. That was fun.
You've been listening to the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
Okay, enough mayhem. Thank you. We